Okay, so welcome to our latest installment of Shadowrun. It is session number 55, just past 7 o'clock, and we are up to video 596.
Wow. Yeah, very close to 600.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you don't have a GM screen up because there's only me here, right?
At the moment, yes.
Were you planning on me being in that chair and therefore not seeing all the scary?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen all the scary now, but that's okay. We'll cope.
We're at season 2, episode 17. Have a couple of people away at the moment who said they'll be back at some point, and a few people delayed getting online.
So season 2.
Season 2, episode 17.
And it was session.
Session number 55.
Yeah, I was going to say 55. Right, at least got those bits down. Are you going to do a summary or introduction?
I can do an introduction if you'd like. Or would you prefer the summary?
Summary first. It gives me a chance to go and get a thing before I sit down.
Okay, the summary for when people can join us. Does that mean you're back, Jeremy?
I am.
Well, I thought I'd kick off the recording and start getting through all the housekeeping before everyone got here.
Oh, okay. Except, hang on, I'm not saying any extras. Sounds like we're starting.
Yeah. So, backstory for the people, which will be interesting for those not here to receive it, is that they have signed on to remove the they're called the APN. The APN is the acronym of them. So I was just going to look up what that...
Paranobilis is the PN.
Yeah, Association Paranobilis is correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so that's what the APN stands for. And the idea is this is a group of non-elves pretending to be elves and wanting to make elves only tourist attractions in a fairy tale land and not actually having real lives. If you sort of say anything other than that, you're just sort of giving it a more effort than it deserves, to be honest. And any elf that doesn't fit their theme park belief is generally killed off.
Their theme park belief?
Yes.
Is that like the Disney-fied version of things rather than the real version of things?
Very much.
Organized version.
So they believe they should live in a Tolkien universe, and if they pick up a phone and turn it on, they deserve to die.
Why Tolkien over?
Because that's the one that was written at the time the books were released. So.
I was going to say, since I do a chocolate, I might be able to have my own little dice trader rolling and some dice if I grab them for myself, and then I can at least pretend I've got some control over my destiny. I'll get them. I just wanted to know if I could.
You could.
Yeah.
They can just give you all the dice in the dice tray.
But then won't it be hard for the camera to see them?
And you can just move it over.
You're very relaxed today. Is that because of the chocolate?
It helps.
Oh, there you go. So, today's the day, is it? Or this session is the days for confronting the... Oh, what was the A again?
Association.
Associated Polynobilis Group. What?
Association.
Association.
Paranobilis.
Paranobilis. Okay.
So
As in
paramilitary.
So
well, but it's also the idea that it's going to play on the scientific name for elves.
Oh,
as
okay.
in, because it's like we've got Homo sapiens are humans, elves are called Homo nobilis.
Oh, okay. So shouldn't they be called Association Homo nobilis?
Possibly, but
the para might be related to the fact they're talking in some ways, elves as they should be rather than as they are.
Yeah, no, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense.
And considering how they want to put elves in their place so that they can worship them from afar, doesn't really sit well with anyone.
No.
Or possibly it's thought for paramount, because they revere elves so highly.
Yeah. Could be. Who knows what the para in para nobilis stands for?
Maybe when someone goes and sits through one of their lectures, they'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got absolutely nothing from the weapons stockpile and the terrorist attacks that they conduct on a regular basis.
So they're not terrorists, right?
Who are you talking to? Who are you asking?
The table in general.
Table in general will go, bow, wrong answer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that I think we heard from their history that they weren't always this way.
Well, once they lost their leader, they
not
became
militantly this way.
So before they lost their original leader, they were an organisation that was happy to help people. And mainly trying to help elves, but helping anyone was also part of their thing. Once they lost their leader, then they became more terrorist, do what we say or die sort of people.
And that's a result of Aaron the Mad. Is that correct?
The Mad one, yes.
I remembered something.
It's stuck with Garrett the Mad.
And you do get some say in whether or not you execute all of them or only those you believe necessary.
Is this another one where we actually need to do the right thing and not murder everyone because we're not as bad as they are type deal? Like, you don't defeat, the means doesn't justify the end.
Well, you get either way.
And I believe part of it is they certainly kids we've got to kill. Or at least cut their ears off.
Sorry, did you say there's kids that we've got to kill?
Kids. Numeral 6.
The 6 people you have to kill.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said kids as in children.
No, sorry. 6 as in 5 plus 1.
Yeah, there's 6 that we have to kill. And then...
Well, or there is.
Wasn't there a reason why these guys were more evil than the last lot that we gave? Operation Brown.
Well, for that Poly Club, it had the 3 executives in there that were definitely Poly Club members and deserved to die, but people decided that if we had killed them, there's a fair chance they may have had
retaliation.
Like the report from Stockwagon or something like that would have actually responded with bringing forth, particularly in the Barrens. Here in downtown, in the ghetto of Renraku, Stockwagon is probably less likely to come running in. Renraku might come running in if we make too much noise and there's a disturbance in the area. But also the fact that, this one here, like in the previous job, part of the mission was to make it look like they changed their ways. So killing them off wouldn't necessarily make it look like they changed their ways. Whereas this one is definitely a, hey, I think that we were told, definitely told they wanted to kill. And the question is,
so have we establish if they're just as, more than, not as evil as Humanus?
They are probably worse than Humanus, as Humanus doesn't necessarily target humans directly.
Right.
Whereas these guys are supposed to be helping elves, but they're killing
actual
elves.
elves. And so I believe we decided that we were going to go and focus on the 6 that we needed to leave intact and collect ears from, as gruesome as that task is. But let Flogger and bolt loose on the rest.
That's right. And it's like, and potentially the rest may be less blameworthy, because we don't know enough about them to know exactly how much they go into it.
Whether it's a case like at Humanus, where every other employee below the executive level was there to earn their literal 10 cents a day and didn't deserve to be murdered or harmed.
They weren't believers. That's right. They weren't believers in the Humanist cause. Whereas these ones, we're expecting that, hey, this is not a clubhouse where you're getting paid to be there. So that means they want to be there.
What's the time frame for this job?
There's no specification on when the ears have to be delivered or when the package has to be delivered.
So we could find out a little bit more about the people at this organisation. I believe last week we had a plan of me attending their Thursday night session, but I had to go to Surge to get a fitting for an appropriate medieval outfit and acquire myself an authentic medieval sword.
Yep. And again, that was certainly part of the plan, was as far as legwork prior to the actual run, to get as much information we can. We wanted to go and talk to the old lady at the Public Records office to try and get an idea of the layout of the actual building and things like that. There was an independent news station type thing that apparently tried to do a story there that they lost some members, so they might also have some information to report to.
Okay.
And then, attending a Thursday night meeting to get an inside look and also hopefully get some images of the people, or at least some eyewitnesses. So we've only got images of 3 at the 6 so far.
Okay. Well,
thanks
before
to
we get
the
too far off into that, on that note, I'll introduce my character. Because we haven't done introductions yet, Martin offered to do a bit of a summary to let me get into the chair. So I am not the Nature Striker, Talon of the clan, but Shadow. The Shadowrunner who was a Robin Hood in a corporate forest until she got caught with a hand in the till, so to speak. And now does shadowrunning as an alternate form of employment. I appear as an elf, which is why I'm so suitable for the Thursday night meeting of the people who worship elves. I, unlike the soon-to-be introduced Desiree, don't have any technical or seeable technical upgrades or detectable technical upgrades. So I have black hair with blue streaks in it. Not that you get to see my face very often. I tend to walk around like a Jedi, ironically enough, with a hooded cloak, jacket, and I also have purple eyes with blue around the rims of the irises. Otherwise, I look pretty much like a standard elf. No scars yet. Not
I'm sure we
asking
can
for
work
one.
on that.
Not asking for one.
I'm sure there's quite a few mental scars.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those.
Online we have Jeremy.
Good evening, all. Yes, I'm playing Desmond Deadshot, another elf, as mentioned. I'm one that's become a bit more worldly, having grown up on the streets of Seattle, but now having started to come into some money. He's put a couple upgrades into himself, including some targeting vertical eye image. But also, yes, discovering that there may in fact be life beyond the ancient, that was his original only goal in life, because there was nothing higher you could possibly be. But he's recognising that, hang on, there's other stuff out there, including apparently super tech or magical motorcycles that he's apparently inherited and still can't work out how to use.
And there's also
And
family.
listening to Shadow's story, thought, hey, maybe that's the costumes you can get from Surge. A nice Robin Hood costume.
I appreciate the humour, but while I like playing a role of a Robin Hood, I don't necessarily want to dress like Robin Hood.
Well, I'm sure you can get an eye patch to cover Desrin's cyber eye. That's his only visible cyber damage.
Yeah, this is your job. Why don't we do that? I'm not grinning at you like an idiot.
It's certainly a thought process, not one that you actually considered per se.
I do believe that there's too high a risk that they would detect the technology, which is why I am not being serious at all about throwing you in at the deep end.
Okay, so you end up on the Monday, the 27th of March, and you do find that their records office is open.
Marvellous.
And so the two of you managed to head down quite successfully.
In preparation for this, I had put some thought into maybe trying to bake some cookies of my own instead of magic imbued ones like Womp was going to. So I'll have my freshly baked cookies. Do I need to roll to bake cookies?
Most of the time, as long as you've got a working tech oven, you just push the button and say, bake this.
I was going to try and put a little bit more personal effort into it.
In which case, you could ask Trixie to show you.
I will ask Trixie to show me.
She's more than happy to show you how to lace it with many additives.
I would just like to lace it with the wholesome taste of maybe chocolate and maybe some sort of synthetic fruit, because I don't think I've got access to like real dried fruit.
No, she has real fruit there.
Oh, okay. So we'll go for a unoriginal classic and go for white chocolate with raspberry.
She does have that. Not a lot of raspberry, but enough to be able to bake it.
Just enough.
Okay, so yes, you head into downtown with your cookies that are probably dwindling by the mile.
Oh, just because I love the irony, I'm going to change into my red cloak hood.
You believe it's going to be Shadow and Desmond going down there? Well, we should be dressed fairly smartly and with it out.
Yep. I'll wear my good clothes. Not too much bling. I don't want to look like I can actually pay her off decent amount of money. But, enough for me to walk into a government, I presume it's some sort of government institution, if it's a records office.
Yep. You have no problems getting into the Department of Public Works. You can see the Shearways Corporation logo above it.
Which logo?
The Shearways.
So how's that spelled?
SHIAWASE.
SHIAWASE. shearways. Or shearwassi, maybe? Shearways.
Yeah. I'll butcher it until I can pronounce it better.
But basically, from a runner's perspective, well, and obviously, Shadow would be more aware of it, being the corporate world side of the house, but basically, yes. One of the, I don't know if Shearways actually counts for AAA.
I believe
He's
it
certainly up there.
does. I believe it does at this time in the timeline. It may drop out or change.
Yeah, it's certainly very close to a AAA if it's not a AAA, so.
It's a multinational organization. And the first thing you notice is that you're probably the only people armed in the building.
You're in armed. You coming carrying guns.
Don't you have concealed guns?
I wouldn't go to a government office with guns. But I have magic.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not Desrin has gone armed, entirely
Well,
different.
he certainly wouldn't go in there with more than a light pistol.
Mm-hmm.
But, because, hey, you're walking around the city. Hey, we're going to downtown, so he wouldn't necessarily expect to be running into danger.
But you wouldn't expect to be without a weapon either.
Exactly. I'm happy that he's going with a light pistol, like I say. I don't think that's too funny. It's not like it's safe to walk anywhere around the streets now without some form of self-defense.
And all the government desks and lines have obvious bulletproof glass between you and the staff. So even if you did pull out a gun, it's unlikely you would actually penetrate before they shot you.
Well, they also recognise that everybody needs some form of self-defense.
And you also see two active weapon turrets near the entrance.
No, okay. It's certainly one that
I'm thinking this. I'm not saying it. I'm just like, guns aren't underrated. Overrated. Yeah, guns aren't overrated.
And I'm sure many people claim it's in their laws that they're allowed to carry weapons.
I don't know about that.
It certainly, exactly. The in the Desmond is using as a license to carry his light pistol, and as a like hidden carry.
Okay, and you have no problems getting up to the front of the line. Only takes you half an hour of waiting.
That's right.
Do we know the name of this little old lady that we're looking for?
You had heard it was Harriet.
Now, we haven't had the opportunity to make an appointment or anything like that to say, have we?
You did not.
No. Well,
This is where I should have been making an appointment.
Over the weekend. So.
Okay, so you get to the front of the queue, and the nice, officious-looking guy on the other side sort of bends his head backwards a bit to look up at you, going, "So, what are you doing here?"
I'll step back to make it easier for him to make eye contact without getting a crick in his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, good morning, good sir. I'm here to see Harriet. Unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to make an appointment with her. Is she available?
He starts typing in his computer. Well, it doesn't appear to be able to find a Harriet on the system. Do you know which section she works in?
Do I? Did Womp tell us? Where did we get this information from?
We're actually, it doesn't say Harriet was the person we were told to contact, but really what we're looking for is to try and find the public records and information about
The APN building.
Yeah, no, I get what...
1762 7th Street, or whatever the address of the APN
yeah,
building is.
I get that that's our ultimate goal, but I have a feeling that if we were to try to deal with the polite but officious young man, we probably won't get far.
Well, if you'd like that to be the result, we can go that way.
No, I was just going
to... it's not a case of mentioning the APN building at all, it's a case of asking about the specific address.
Yeah,
yeah. We were trying to find some records and information about 1762 7th Avenue, or whatever, like the equivalent address like that.
Yeah, if you give me just a sec, I was just going to say, I'd hazard a guess though that Harriet is probably in building plans or plan public records for plans. Is this just a generic public record building? Was there a sign?
This
when
is the
in?
department. It's called the Department of Public Works, and you've made it into the area where they allow the non-workers to make inquiries.
And when we walked in, was there any kind of signs or information screens?
There was a sign for it, a line for inquiries.
Just inquiries, okay. I will say I believe she will work in the section that deals with building designs and map management. Do you have a section that's named that?
He has many of those sections, and if you can just tell me what building, he'll be able to look it up on their system.
I'll give him the address that we have then.
Okay. He types it in for a little bit and goes, well, that doesn't seem to be a current city structure, so we don't seem to have the plans.
I see.
I know this was it looked like it looked like the architecture looked quite interesting, which is why we're curious about it.
When we originally found out about this, Harriet, who did we find out about her from?
I cannot remember because I don't have all notes with me right now.
Because I think it was like a few episodes, a few sessions ago. Unfortunately, my memory is not.
But this would be a good either a charm or a negotiation
that's it,
on parties' terms.
I was going to say, is there any reason why we can't see if we can charm or do some sort of role to remember where she came from, rather than going in this somewhat blindly?
We're asking about public record. We've gone to public record office to find out about public records. So I asking, and if necessary, so.
Harry, have you ever walked into a public records office in real life? It's never that easy.
Inquiries,
you got to know where you've got to go. Which is why I'm like, there's no directory at all.
You should always start with the idea of, hey, I don't know where I am, can you help me please? And okay, respectable looking, clean cut young elves of the community, there's no reason why they shouldn't help us.
So would you like to go with charm?
Well,
I would think charm.
Yeah. What would the role be to try and remember the information?
I can't tell you who told you the information because I cannot remember who told you the information. I can't remember what information you were told either.
Okay, alright.
So,
yeah.
Well,
I wasn't here for that session, unfortunately.
Yes, I'm sorry, I can't do much about that.
I just know Womp was absolutely determined to make cookies for this little old lady, and I don't know where it came from.
Probably found out from either Trixie, Ebenezer, or the one of the dogs.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, your character actually is pretty good at charming people.
Yep.
Most of the time. You ended up with, I'll switch over so you can actually see it better, a success and a threat. So he's pretty much demanding a bribe for public information.
Yeah. I presume my skill at figuring out the information isn't much better bribe. I don't mind paying the bribe, but
Jacob, happy to hand over 50 credits or something to say, hey.
is 50 credits enough?
50 credits is a good starting bribe. If he's unhappy with it, you can always hot hand over more.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what he tells you is that they don't keep the old plans on the system, but if you go to the Public Works Archive Hall, you'll be able to access everything predating the acquisition by Shireways. And then he gives you simple instructions on how to get there.
Thank you very much for your help, kind sir. And looking towards Shadow, that would be a place like that certainly sounds like a place where Harry would work.
And so the description you get of how to get there is you find the entrance in the building sub-basement behind the door marked men, and then descend 14 flights of stairs, roughly 150 meters wide by 40 meters long by 50 meters high. The room is filled with files dating back to presidential election results from 1900s.
So we have to look through these archives ourselves?
And in the archives, Harriet is in charge of it.
I see, yeah.
And she's been running the office for 47 years now.
Wow, that's a very specific number.
Well, they gave me the specific number, so I'm using it.
That's a very long time to be working in the one job.
A half-hour waiting in the queue is dwarfed by the 2 hours it took to actually find the place. Is that right?
It would take roughly about 2 hours to one, find the place and descend the.
I don't know if it would take 2 hours. It would certainly take a good 20 minutes to go down 14 flights of stairs.
With the number of long terms thinking, this can't be really many. Surely not.
Well, getting into the sub-basement was the first struggle you had.
Yeah, well, at least we got instructions on where it was that we were
Hopefully,
going.
if there was any, if you come across any security personnel or anything like that, or official staff saying, hey, what are you doing down here? We're down here to find the archive office, so then I'll give us further directives as we're looking.
Well, by the time you reach the sub-basement, there's no security.
No, I dare say there wouldn't be.
You get the idea that no one really goes down there unless there's a need.
Okay, so we finally open a dusty old door that apparently hasn't been used in years. Find this room full of paper files, and
well, you actually enter an office where you see Harriet, who's just under 1.5 meters tall, looking like a strong wind could blow her away. Including the ceiling fan above her. And she's wearing a flowered sundress and reading glasses, and puts down whatever she's staring at through a magnifying glass to greet you warmly with a, you look like young ones. How can I help?
Harriet, our friend, I'm going to take a chance. Doc Ebenezer mentioned that you were a very reliable person to come for the information that we're after.
or more importantly, okay, the people upstairs said that you're the one who knows stuff as to, we're looking for information about this building in one of the old downtown buildings.
Well, I was thinking from the perspective she might say, oh, I remember Ebenezer from when he was a young boy, sort of thing, and giving her an opening there. But
And she definitely looks like the little old librarian cliche.
there's little librarians are actually the best kind of friends to have.
And she does say that you're not the only ones who have come down here recently. Had another group of young people coming down looking for plans of buildings that haven't been touched in years.
Were they at the same address as the plans that we're looking for?
Which address was that, my dear?
Sorry, I haven't asked you yet. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's just that she's like...
Well, I'm sure with such a wonderful hostess as yourself, I'm sure you get visited all the time.
Oh, this is the first time she's really had two in a month. He doesn't really get them that often.
Someone needs to come and visit Harriet more often.
Indeed, it's certainly satisfying. Well, I can tell you what, they said, it would be most odd if you had the opportunity and the time to help us look for some information about 1746, 7th Avenue, or whatever it might be.
Well, I might give Desrin a charming check, especially considering someone brought cookies, so the difficulty has reduced greatly.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, then Bob on the customer support accounts, irrespective of the quality.
What are you saying about my capacity to cook?
So that worked out to be a triumph and 5 successes.
Nice.
So obviously she is doting on the two of you. And she does say that they had also asked about the APN headquarters.
Wow.
Interesting.
She digs through the plans and manages to pull them out rather quickly. And mentions that they were looking rather like an elven samurai.
An elven samurai. Does that ring a bell?
And offers you some of her Aunt Sarah's baked brownies that she had bought.
Oh wow! I'll gladly swap you white chocolate and raspberry cookies for bit of baked brownie.
And she also points out on the map, after making a copy of it, that there is a installed elevator here, and gives you the gives you an offer to contact her daughter, who may know more about the place.
And her daughter's name is?
Oh.
Her daughter's name is Carrie Taylor, which rings bells for both of you because she was one of the people you wanted to get in contact with regarding information.
Okay. Harry was the worked at the detective production.
The newspaper, yes?
That is correct.
Yeah.
She was the investigative journalist.
Oh, you mean that the marvelous
Talented writer.
talented reporter who blew open the story on what was it again? The last year, I think about
Oh, your bluffing's not paying off. She hasn't filled in the words for you. I was going to say there's a lot of things that went on last year. You just say the Lone Star killings.
Talamar Elven slavery ring.
The Talamar.
yeah, God, I knew we had heard something about it. Several through my records trying to find what we actually had about it.
Elven slave ring, was it?
The Talamar Elven slavery ring.
Slavery ring.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Amusingly enough, the details are online for Jeremy's purposes.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, well, I'm sure because I've got some notes that again I can't read myself, and I was actually trying to read them again. But the fact that we've got the
that's one of the problems with
applied
taking
news group
notes.
with Cherry, and that there was Elven slavery investigation. The partner died on one of her investigations. He's human, and the next one I got that information from the accents. Through the accent part of the house. It's maybe where we've got Harriet's name from.
So amusingly, whoever did the maths for this storyline really made Harriet having a child in her 50s or so.
So Harriet had...
Not really after being empty nested.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, you know, even in with today's technology, you can have kids at 48, so, you know, who's to say?
Well, certainly from their current plan, his intent will be to try and sit down and have a lovely conversation with Harriet for however long she's happy to chat for.
She does tell you about her daughter working for Scepter Productions.
Yes, that was interesting. Actually, there's great things about their investigations. You say that I got a picture. What?
And that she figured out the elf who come in earlier asking about the APN building works for the young elven technologists.
Young elven technologists, so have you kept the fact that I was happy to chat down with Harriet for a couple of hours? That was the intent. Can we find out more about the elf that was there? What she showed him or showed her, that type of stuff? Because when the first descriptor, I thought, hang on, how well did she actually see him? You might have thought one of the APN marshals looked like a real elf.
And so, and you do know from your research that the young elven technocrats are the opposite end of the spectrum from the APN.
Were they the people who did the book, or had something to do with the book that we stole?
I believe they are supposedly working with the guy who wrote the book.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I've got any notes about the young elven technocrat movie. But yeah, certainly there'll be a case of getting more information about them to find out where they fit into the puzzle. Presumably they don't necessarily, if they're elven techno, then we're not fitting into the APN model of an elf.
They do not, but it's their belief to re-educate them.
Right.
Though their online presence says we'll re-educate through logic, reason, debate.
And is Harriet able to recall or explain or to give away how much he told the elf about the APN building?
She forgot to tell him about the elevator, but hey, he wasn't that polite.
Okay, did he map the building as well?
He was. She gave him copies of the map, but not the updated information she gave you.
Mm-hmm. And when did you say he came?
2 weeks ago, she says.
Yeah. The APN probably to be a popular location. Although, from what I've heard about them, I'm not entirely certain why they should be particularly popular.
Well, she says maybe if people who shoot their mouth off and don't know what they're talking about have people who want to make them stop talking.
Mm-hmm. And And so, what's your lovely daughter's interest in the APN?
I believe she was doing a expose on their stupidity.
Well, that could take a long time to uncover. Or to
well, that won't take a long time to uncover. It'll just take. It'll be a long story because it'll be a long list of stupidity.
Yes. Yes.
But she does give you an address for her daughter as well. Because obviously you're a trusting group.
We're real elves. No, I'm joking.
I don't suppose while we're here, would you have any records and archives for the Redmond area as well as downtown?
She's got them for all of the greater Seattle region. They amalgamated all their archives into one building. Mainly because the other archivist knew jack about archiving.
Oh.
All about technology is better even when it failed.
Good for us, bad for them. Because now we've got you.
And she's had 2 different buyouts trying to fire her, not realizing that they can't run the office without her.
Well, that sounds like it's very short-sighted of them.
She's gotten a pay rise each time.
I was going to say, how have you managed to avoid being fired then?
Oh, she's been fired.
Oh, and then they realise they can't run the office
now. She just
hired back up at a pay rise.
She goes home and makes them beg, plead, and offer her more.
Yeah.
And then she'll come back and help them.
If only we could all be in that position.
Considering none of them actually have keys to the archives.
That would help too.
Or I'm sure that unlike you, they never know where to look for the things. For here at the building.
Most of them can't even find the place, she says.
They do appear as if you're away a bit.
Well, occasionally she gets emails, but that's when her link gets reception.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. I mean, it appears obvious that they realise how precious you are, and they're protecting their investment, I'm sure.
Well, she's sure that you could drop a nuke on the building and the archives will survive.
And fortunately, you will as well. That'll be so.
So is she human? But
She is human.
long-lived?
No, she's 88.
Okay, so she's just very remarkable for a human.
Mm-hmm. Which why having a kid at 58 seemed a bit of a
Yeah, it does seem 58's, but I guess in the future.
In the future, the lifespan of humans aren't longer.
No, I mean the capacity to have kids later is possibly improved, as I said, because current time you can be 48 and still have kids, so 58's a stretch, but not.
Not with the empty nester adoptee. If the child come in from her second husband.
Yeah, maybe.
The daughter of her husband who she married. And she's outlived all 3 of them so far.
Well, yeah. Outlived, murdered. No one's ever going to know.
Well, she does know the best places to bury someone, she says.
Well, you have an archive. You can just bury them here. No one would know.
She would smell, she says.
True.
Or she literally knows the best place to bury them because, hey, she's got the records to indicate where people won't look.
That's also true.
She wouldn't want to bury them here, they might start to smell.
Well, that's precisely what she said. They would smell. Alright, well, I'm sad to say that we should probably go and visit your daughter. Well, at least call her and see if she's got time to see us.
Well, she can put in a good word and say she better help her pointy-eared friends.
Well, we would greatly appreciate that. That is an unexpected but well appreciated kindness.
And Deborah also did she work full time or she only here 7 days a week?
Oh, technically, she could have retired years ago. She just enjoys the work.
Well, I think if you were doing it for love more than money these days, but that meant that next time we come and visit, we brought a couple of days we're not going to be here.
Oh, she's here every day because, hey, the records are like her kids.
What are the records you most like to deal with, or is it just keeping everything in order?
Well, she's basically an archivist and has technically archived them in a system that's so outdated now no one else seems to understand it. She's used the librarian system.
Yeah, okay. She's not one of these newfangled
technocrats who tag everything and then rely on the tags to find it.
Tag and forget.
And she wishes you luck on the stairs going back up. That's what keeps her fit, she says.
I thought there was an elevator she showed us to.
An elevator in the Elven Technocrats building. Sorry, the APN's building.
APN's
That's
building.
not shown on the map.
Right.
As in, like, the maps that she had were out of date, but she had the record to indicate what the map should show. They still haven't updated that. So obviously, Declan will look closely at the maps while we're discussing and confirm that you can understand any of the notations and things like that sort of stuff to make it clear. So,
well, she has the neat school teacher handwriting.
And yeah, obviously, finding out about the elevator being installed led to the questions about any other renovations or changes or things like that might have been made from those maps. So, is there any indication of how old these maps are?
These maps probably date back to the 1940s.
What year are we in now?
2051.
2050? Okay. So the map will be a nice start point, but may not necessarily be entirely accurate for what's inside. But good planning if we don't have other information.
Well, these are the non-movable walls in the building set as structural points.
Oh, okay, yep.
And potentially updated at some point along the way, but they are based on original design. And musically enough, if you look at the actual maps I have for them without their drawn on part, you'll see that there is no stairwell at all on the place.
No, they still elevator.
So if you go to locations and buildings, you'll find the APN headquarters and be able to look at each of the maps yourself.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a fairly decent sized building. I'm just going to go grab some food and a drink.
Yeah.
Not that I can see these very well from my position, but it looks like on the ground floor you've got a main open area, then 3 offices off to one side, and then a group of 6 offices to the other side with like connecting corridors and areas in between it. I'm not sure which one will be the elevator.
Well, the elevator is in addition to those.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because the elevator is not on the map. If you hadn't have been very polite to her, she wouldn't have told you about the elevator. And then you would have gone, "What's this? This was not on the map."
Oh, okay, so they're stairs up to the 2nd floor that are presumably between room 10 and 7.
Stairs down, but it doesn't. I think
Yeah.
it goes into that spot there.
Oh, assuming they come in that spot there, yeah.
And
Do we know
then
where the elevator is?
I would probably say let's just put the elevator at that point. Just trying to see how it lines up with the one below. And technically that puts it right here, which is a rather crappy point to put it. I think I'm going to have to say it's in room 6. Because that makes sense in the back corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
In big?
In 6 on the, so from the ground floor here would probably be the best place
Yep.
to stick it. Because anywhere else seems crazy.
Okay.
Especially if it goes to all 3 floors.
Yeah. Okay then. And so the door between 10 and 11 on the ground floor is the main entrance door.
I believe that's the only entrance door.
Well, it's there I can find, but
So that would have to be the main entrance. That's why I thought of that spot being the best one to stick the elevator.
Yep.
Because it doesn't make sense in most of the other parts of the basement.
Can you explain what the dotted rectangle in room 1 is?
Dotted rectangle in room 1.
On the ground floor?
Oh, actually, that's where the elevator's supposed to be. They did put it on the map.
Okay. So is that there? So that goes up to room 1 on the 2nd floor, and I get into that dotted area in room 7 on the basement, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Does it explain what the large dotted area in room 4 on the ground floor is?
Room 4.
Like the big room in the middle?
No, it doesn't say so on the map. The map doesn't give you any information on it.
Okay. Does it say what that room is? I guess that wouldn't be on the floor plan, so yeah.
It's listed as a open area.
Okay. Yeah. Is it obvious as to what the diagonal lines are in the basement in room 1?
They do look like structural supports of some kind.
Okay.
Like it was used to test things.
Oh, okay. So there might be some. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, then.
So I'm guessing our people will probably be on the top floor, which is like, this is one of those buildings which only has 2 levels, but the ground level is called the first level.
And it has a basement.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we got 3 floors. 1 on the ground floor, and then 2nd floor.
And you'll most likely learn the majority of the layout on your Thursday.
If we can get in there, we can confirm. That would be good for actually confirming how accurate and up to date these plans are. So, but if we Did Harriet mention anything about how long it might take for her to contact Harry?
No,
If we can call her immediately, or whether we should give it a few days?
she was going to call her immediately and see what her daughter's best time was for you.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have contact details with her then? And we're waiting on Kerry?
Well, you didn't even have to leave the room before she started making the phone call.
Oh, okay. So should we have waited around and...
Okay, in that case then, we might as well wait and confirm with or not. Kerry's going to be interested in talking to her. Yeah. And I reckon probably not like my people down here, is there?
I'd be guessing no.
No signal whatsoever, and she's using a hard line.
Yeah. I was going to say that while we're waiting there, I thought I might just pull out the tablet and try and have a look, see to find out anything about these young elves and technocrats. But yeah, it can wait till we get back up into the real world.
Your pad is pointing out to you that you have left civilization. Good luck.
It would be even funnier if that's what it actually said.
Well, considering it's being worked on by both a apparently intelligent black and a sarcastic developer.
Yes.
It may have said, kiss your butt goodbye, you're no longer home.
Yeah, you're very far.
You're not in Kansas anymore, or you might be, just that's how far away from civilization you are.
Or look for the ruby slippers, they're your only home.
Follow the Elwood Road.
Okay, so Harriet chats rather quickly to her daughter and says that she says that she's available on Wednesday for lunch.
Wow.
And she recommends catching up at her place because she normally works nights. And she should be up by that stage.
We will be honoured to attend upon your daughter. And then did Harriet good day and definitely express the plans that we'll see her again soon.
And she gives you the hardline number for where to call her.
There's also thinking about the idea. I wonder what information we expect the Jet Shop building might be on public records. But you'll catch up with that at the time. Get back up there and take a look at the public command records of the young technocrat.
Mm-hmm.
First big call.
Okay, so Harriet was pretty spot on. Their website basically says they're all about the ability of Homo nobilis to exist and prosper in the world without resort to stereotypes that may be eons old but are still inaccurate, with a direct link to Association Paranobilis as the idiots trying to pull elves down.
Yeah, okay. So that's their public face. Might be interested in, again, probably getting to an ancient contact is probably going to be a good one to find out the real face of the young old technocrat, to find out whether or not they're if they're going to stick around getting the building plans for the APN. Are they sort of organisations that are going to come and blow them up, or they just want to know the best address to walk in and say, hey, this is how it should be?
I just wanted to do a clarification.
Yeah.
One of the people that's one of these 6 guys of APN, the person who's mad. Is that right?
Derek
That's
the Mad.
not the same. Aaron. It's not the same as Aaron the Scribe, who's the leader of the tech.
I Scribe was the guy that wrote
Okay. That wrote that.
the book for me delivering the front page.
I'm just checking they're not the same people because the names are just so close to each other. Because I was looking up the notes I had on Aaron the Scribe, but I don't have as good detailed notes on Eric the Mad. So,
It was actually Zarek, as in
Zarek
Zarek. X in front of Eric.
Zarek the Mad.
How differentiated?
They're obviously all related. They've all got the same middle name.
Well, if they want to call themselves Star on the record, that's up to them.
Well, my brain probably turns Zarek into Eric because I have a lot of trouble distinguishing letters. My hearing aid is just nowhere near good enough. I'm often asking people to spell things. So Eric the Mad and Aaron the Scribe, my brain probably just wanted to check.
Don't forget Raquel the Red.
Yes. Sorry. Because we had a few names, but because my hands are at best erratic, I don't have all of the. I don't have notes written up as well as I usually do.
So the core members again for you are Alair.
He's the main security guy, technology adept.
Death Edge.
Weapons,
I thought I'd written
both
this
medieval
down.
and modern. Always wear black,
Arundel.
which we've got a photo of. Goes to classic elf makeup, but apparently I hope he's got a lucky personality.
Farrell the Red, apparently the only female
Yeah.
member on the actual council.
Again, we've got an image and dressed in red, close ties to the original leader, and he's basically active.
And seems to be the only one with close ties to the original leader.
Yeah, that's what what Jeremy said.
I said probably the only one with close
Oh,
ties.
the only one.
Again, yeah. As in, he's possibly part of the original leadership, these other guys are possibly usurped. Which probably where the ideals of the APN may walk against.
And then you have Thyran.
Who's their master of arms.
And then
Zarek
the Mad. Mad, he says, mad.
Did we just have 7 people?
No, that was 6.
I got Zarek the Mad. Yeah, sorry, let's go.
They are the 6 core members.
Yeah. And Zarek is. Did we get a rundown on him? On like we did for the scribe guy, because maybe it's his description is really similar to Aaron.
We haven't got an image of him at all, so we don't know what he looks like. But we've been told that he's the one that came up with the current strategy and beliefs of the APN. And we know he's mad because he really believes in solutions. But we've also got a original name of Aaron Mitchell.
His original name was Aaron Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he obviously did not like that name and decided to be Zarek instead, because of course Aaron and Zarek are so closely linked that.
Kind of, yeah. They sound.
And what possibly unclear from our record so far is whether Zarek calls himself Zarek the Mad or just Zarek.
Yeah. I think he probably calls himself just Zarek.
I would think it's more likely. Oi, Mr. Man, how are we going? I'm sure that'll work.
And so the other players you have is Charlie Tarot, who's the one who hired you.
Oh, yes, our Mr. Johnson. Yep.
More fixer than Johnson.
Yeah.
As you have an idea who the actual Johnson is.
Well, that's true, but yes.
Harriet Taylor, the elderly librarian. Her daughter, Kerry Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of Charlie's associates. That is the cast of characters you know of so far.
Yep. I just wanted to check because I was trying to read up on what information we did have on the Technocrat Poly Club. And that's where I came across Aaron the Scribe. And I'm like, there's very similar, because I had the impression from the description of Aaron that he wasn't someone that we really wanted to get close to because he's supposed to be a very ferocious foe, basically.
Well, I think it's important to like the information about Aaron the Scribe at the moment is that basically he's an academic, but he's also someone who's obviously been around a long time as an elf.
Well, what I've got here is that he calls the shots for the young elven tech group. He doesn't have an aura, but he's seen to cast magic. He's a skilled sword fighter.
And
he's frightening when angry and considered very powerful.
And he's also one of the first known elves to have been around, just that no one knows when he was born.
Yeah, so he's, as an elf, he's pretty scary. But thankfully, we're after Zarek the Mad and not Aaron the Scribe.
And you're working for a scary elf in his own right.
That's right. And from a player perspective, as I say, you know that Harlequin is a powerful force of nature. Well, from a player perspective, you know, the Scribe and Harlequin are rivals. So Aaron is powerful enough that he can, well, they wouldn't be so vulgar as to go toe to toe, but technically, in that equivalent level of power. But yes, from the player perspective, it's more than, he's an academic, but been around a long time, and he's demonstrated, or people have rumored that he's got more than meets the eye.
And he thinks a lot of himself.
Yes. And having read the Mankind Ascended or whatever,
Basically, you'd probably not be too upset about it disappearing off the market. Okay, so by the time you get home, the next 2 days pass rather quickly with very little major going on.
But if we, actually, the only thing I would like to try and do at that time would be go through like ancient contact to see if there's any more info on the young elven technocrats, because when they're more than what they show on their website.
Okay, so from the ancients' perspective, they would probably work for the technocrats, given money. But they wouldn't for the APN.
Yep.
To be honest, they don't actually pay for the privilege of beating them up and getting away with it.
Yeah. But are the young elven technocrats the type of organisation that might want to be hiring a violent go gang to deal with their business?
The basic response from them is They wouldn't bother, they'd do it themselves.
Okay. So that does put more context to the idea that the elf technocrats are also interested in a land that's still
So
maybe it's a part of that.
that's kind of where I wanna, like, rather than depending on how it goes, rather than just not do anything over the next 2 days. Harriet described this elf as looking like a samurai. I'd like to try and do some research or use my contacts to find out if I can put a name to this technocrat without attracting attention to myself. And whether or not I can put some feelers out as to why the technocrats might at this particular time be targeting the APN.
Well, putting out feelers on the technocrats, they have members in most major cities around the world. APN has members only in Seattle.
Yes, but this young samurai-like elf that's turned up at Harriet's 2 weeks ago, you know, if you do a generic search around their group and that, say you might be interested in joining or something, is there any news pieces, any photos, any information that comes up showing an elf that fits that description that's a member of their group that will give him a name?
I will make it a computer check.
I do not know what my numbers are. This is one of the games where I don't have a character sheet printed at all.
Shadow? Computers, you have 5 green dice.
Okay. Is this one where you... No, you don't upgrade in this one. This is not...
You can upgrade in this one.
Can you? Oh, okay.
There are 4...
the story points, yeah.
Story
instead
points.
of,
I use story points in both games as the name instead of
Yeah.
just calling them
Right.
force points.
Okay, cool.
Would you like to upgrade it?
Yes, please. I'd like to kind of find out more about why they're interested in the APN and whether or not we have to move a lot faster than we think we do.
Okay. Well, I know you rolled well,
Could I?
because they're successes.
That doesn't mean the failures don't blank them
4
out.
net successes.
Okay.
Okay, going through the APN, the technocrats
Yeah.
news that they have put out. They even have blogs and all that sort of stuff going. They seem to link any article about elves that is putting them in a positive light up on their main feed to inspire other elves. But they do have one for where elves are less noble, as you might say. But that's not really a public facing page that you came across.
Okay. So, that less noble elves page is about elves that they think lesser of.
And featuring in one of those articles is Harlequin.
Oh, okay.
Not by name, but a elf that when shows up is known as the Harbinger.
Okay.
He's not welcome in any society as far as they're concerned. And they have a ban on anyone dressing up as him in a costume of any sort.
Duly noted.
It's not a ban that they enforce via any form of threat. It's one that the reason they stated is likely to die from lead poisoning, from unknown sources than anything else. Basically, there's enough people that hate Harlequin that dressing as him is a death sentence.
It's not a ban on dressing as Harlequin. It's just that dressing as Harlequin is a recognised health hazard.
I take it from this then that the samurai-like guy was probably Harlequin, and he's probably doing his research ahead of us carrying out this job.
Unlikely.
I would think. I wouldn't think Harlequin would bother going down to that sort of. He doesn't need to dress like someone else.
So this is just information I've come across randomly.
That they have, they see Harlequin as an enemy of their organisation.
Okay, right. So,
and
I think we already knew this when we stole the book for him.
Yes, but you didn't know it that the organisation considered him an enemy.
Right.
And warned their members not to dress up as him.
Mm.
Not as a social faux pas, just that they don't have that many members that they can afford to lose them to stupidity. They say that's what the APN is for. And there are some comments on that post stating we should challenge the members of the APN to dress up as him.
Right, but so the research doesn't turn up anything to do with the samurai guy or...
They don't have any names for any of the members on any of their social feed.
Okay.
They've gone to a lot of lengths to hide their names, and most of their posts are by anonymous or using code names.
Right. So if I wanted to track down a bit more information about who this guy is and try to figure out a little bit more of an angle as to why they want the maps and the plans to...
You're expecting at some point they're planning their own strike.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, we went for the plans in the same way we did, or for the same purpose.
And I get that as well. I guess what I'm trying to angle for is trying to make sure that we're ahead of them rather than behind. And also just being aware of who our rivals and competition are. Like, putting a name to Samurai Guy, or any members of the party means, of this technocrats party means that, you know, at least if I encounter them at, say, the APN party and things like that, I'll know what I'm encountering, or I'll have some forewarning.
You're not expecting to come across another elf at the APN, and if you do, you would suspect highly that they are an elven technocrat.
Yeah, I was just hoping the research would come up with more useful information, but success doesn't mean useful.
Yeah, we'll be making something from Terry.
Yeah, well, you know, sitting around for 2 days doing nothing is not really my idea of how I want to spend my time.
You would have been doing other things such as getting clothes and sourcing weapons.
Okay, so
You went to the toad.
Because we didn't have a Ross here to do all the introductions and meet the person.
Okay. Well, normally in game, if we make assumptions about having clothes and things, you're like, so where did you get your clothes from? So that's
I was going to add that.
Yeah. Okay. I just I didn't know that.
And you've also got to remember the legwork sometimes takes a few days.
Yeah. No.
Because you have to put out feelers and go wait for responses and put out other feelers.
But Buck was saying earlier that 2 days go by and you're now on the day of the meeting, and
yep.
I'm like,
and we've done, but we've done a bit more legwork in the meantime. We haven't been entirely wasted. Fine.
Yeah.
So you've gotten all the measurements in to get yourself done. You generally don't go in to meet the people until after they get the gear in to see you.
Yeah.
So you're expecting to meet with them on the potentially on the Thursday day, so you don't have to traipse around in the gear too long.
Presume that we probably want to make sure it fits, and I thought there was comments last session that I should get it earlier rather than later so I could get used to wearing it, walking around in it, and used to using the sword. So that I can pass myself off as somewhat plausible.
But that was also when we thought that, hey, you didn't need to go there this Thursday, you go there next Thursday, or the Thursday after. But now that we know the technocrats are potentially on the job, then it might be okay, it might be enough that you made an effort to dress and you're getting down to the APN to learn how to use the weapon.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go in there pretending I don't know anything. I can appreciate that is a strategy, but it's not a strategy that Shadow would take.
It would work perfectly if it was given to Tom.
Yeah, it would work perfectly if it was given to Tarlin. She's got stats that would suit that, but unfortunately she's not here, so...
Yeah. But again, also, in the case of necessity, if we do decide we need to fast, last week when we were playing, last session we were playing this, we thought, oh well, we can kill them off in 2 months' time if we feel like it, after we have plenty of time to get the full detail of where they are. Now we know there is an unknown deadline.
Well, you were thinking that last session. I wanted to go there that Thursday. I don't want to spend long on this job. This is not a job that I want to take time doing if I can avoid it. Yeah, that's why last session I wanted the suit. I was happy to pay extra for Surge to open up on a Saturday and get the suit organised. I wanted to go on the first Thursday and get all the research done and get it out of the way. And I'm still of that perspective. The fact that we've got the technocrats that are interested in it now, motivating Desrin to move forward on it, works out well for me because I'm not interested in dragging my feet here. This is not a job technically for me. This job came up from the Harlequin side of things, as much as it's a cool storyline from a player's perspective, people who are around him tend to die, so I'm not as enthusiastic about carrying out jobs for him. Anyway, let's get on and meet Carrie.
He doesn't really have a reputation as a killer, he just has a reputation of death.
That's what I mean. People die around him, the Harbinger.
Okay, so you get news that after the lunch meet, Serge has gotten your gear in for fitting if you wish to show up.
Yeah.
It arrived early, apparently you got lucky.
Yeah. The player complained. we discussed all this stuff last session.
Yes, but you're assuming that it was not planned that way.
Alright.
Anyway, let's deal with Terry and then we will deal with Serge.
Yeah.
So we were meeting at her place, weren't we?
You were meeting at her place.
With the intent that she was potentially going to be working tonight or late, so therefore she may be on touched on. We will, Des will send a message beforehand to say that, to confirm that she likes pie.
She gives you a thumbs up.
And then, we will bring some takeaway with the cup up to her phone.
Okay, so the address brings you to a townhouse in the corporate sector of downtown. It's a 2-story, luxurious looking place that probably costs 30 grand a month to rent.
Like, come on, what is that?
And the door is opened by a dark-haired woman that looks to be in her early 30s, and you recognize her from the expose she's done for the last 30-odd years.
And so you said, yeah, this was in like awkward countdown type sector. So again, Dexter will be carrying his pistol, but no other weapon. Yeah.
She welcomes you in and says, her mum wasn't joking. You're definitely pretty ones.
And you're very beautiful yourself, indeed.
She does the whole doesn't really care about appearances sort of gesture. And brings you into her dining area, which has a table that could sit about 8, and you can see it looks as if it has actually gotten a lot of use.
Well, certainly that means there's plenty of room, because Jason wasn't really understanding exactly what those appropriate things are tied, so I bought most of the menu to ensure that there's something that you want.
Okay.
Just Jason figuring, hey, putting up first, and he was putting up Harriet.
Okay, so she sets up a screen next to the table, and she says she's assuming from what her mother told her when she spoke to her yesterday that you're after what the APN has to do with her investigations.
Well,
So when you say
certainly
screen, do you mean like a
APN
monitor?
right now. And we heard that, yes, you've been conducting investigations, and Harriet mentioned that you'd be a wonderful person to talk to about the situation. So,
Looks more like something she's just rolled down, but has a monitor on it.
Okay, alright. So
Literally a portable chip projector without the projector.
yeah, a projector screen, but not a projector screen. Yeah. I just wanted to confirm it was a digital screen, basically, and not, I don't know, something to put up in front of the window so people couldn't see who she's meeting with.
Well, looking at the windows, you can see it does have some of the latest in anti-intrusion stuff on it, meaning that even if they had a laser mic, they still wouldn't hear what you're saying.
We need to move in here.
Well, she is in the news and reporting, so getting a scoop on the person getting a scoop just doesn't happen.
That's true.
So, she's hoping that you might be able to provide her a little bit of legwork yourself in basically her sharing with you, you share with her, is what she says.
certainly.
I'm not quite sure she'll want to share in what we're about to do, which is remove the APN as a topic of conversation at all. But
Do you mention that?
no.
But based upon her style of investigative reporting, and have we got any information or indication so far as to whether she's pro or anti-APN?
Okay, so she starts putting up stuff without actually telling you whether she's pro or con. And so she lost a crew member, crew considering of 4 people assigned to monitor the APN after they heard rumors that the APN might be murdering elves. The crew's bodies were found only by chance the night after a bloodbath in a computer club owned and patronized by elves. A still functioning wrist phone led Doc Wagon to the corpses, which were buried in a meter of concrete, of Seracrete as they say. 3 days later, she quit her job and volunteered to expose the APN for Scepter. And she is quite happy if the Association of Elf Protectors end up nuked.
Well, and in the images she's put up there, has she got any images of the personnel yet?
She has identified 20 members of the APN, has their leadership, has their habits, has their likes and dislikes, has notations on there about best method to remove them from play, as she has listed on there.
I'll take copious notes
The
on how to remove all 20 members.
That's what you're thinking. Okay, I think we could probably not come on table here consistently.
Has some notes up there that she hired a runner by the name of Sophie to do some scanning of the place over the last 2 days, and has provided a majority of the notes she has up here.
Didn't we talk to Sophie last session about this as well?
Yeah, you did, Doug.
That's when we got the images we've got. So when we look at the fact that, hang on, how many images did she not provide us?
Well, you actually didn't pay Sophie to do any work.
No,
you said you would chase it up at a later time.
I wanted to pay her anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted something anyway from her, but because I didn't check on, didn't follow up with you, because I wasn't sure I could afford it on my own. I wasn't sure how much money I had. But we got some information from Sophie.
You got some.
Yeah. She gave us photos of 3 of the 6, as well as 3 9 others. She had photos of 12 members, I think, remember?
And basically, most of the notations on there are from the last 2 days.
Right, so this is more updated detailed information that she's been still collecting. So,
has notation that there are explosives used inside the APN.
actually, explosives have gone off, or explosives are set as charges or something?
Explosives have gone off, and that there is detectable explosive residue from the roof of the building. Does not appear to be rigged to blow up, but there is belief that there is someone there working with explosives.
Okay, so like
So that might be
I'm
the
guessing that
Democrats.
her analysis from external, presumably, can't say whether it's someone working with explosives or whether someone hit the place and used explosives in the last couple of days.
Says that the residue of the chemicals is not for a completed explosive. It's more the building blocks for it.
Right. Okay. So possibly it was the FN might have been playing with something more methodically.
Also has a breakdown on a bunch of young elven technocrats who are also staking out the place, including 3 elven samurai.
When showing those sort of images, well, this will certainly bring out the photos or the images we got of that came from Charlie about the dead elves and things like that, and the reason that, hey, yep, we're definitely looking to remove the influence of the APN after seeing some of these images, and certainly what when the elven samurais and the young technocrats come up is you'll ask the elven, have you been talking to your mother about any of this sort of stuff? She apparently had a difference from an elven samurai not so long ago.
It was why she had asked the hacker, the deck rigger, as she says, to keep an eye out for elves interested in the place. And there is a couple of shots of Shadowstar and Desrin casing the place.
Well, she'll recognise us then.
Did you actually label us?
You actually had question marks on those ones.
Well, Sophie would have been able to tell her who we were.
Sophie could have, yes. Sophie
That's right. But it's good for us that Sophie was not giving away your image and name willy-nilly, even if someone who's paying you to do so.
It's sort of like Sophie didn't give you the information someone else had paid her to do.
Yeah. But does Terry appear to recognise
And she
and Shadow from the images in Sophie's files?
she doesn't make a statement of it, but she does notice you looking at them.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
You can see with the groundwork that she's spent 4 months on this stakeout trying to get information on them.
Yeah. And I just think about whether or not Desmond just noticing, but then remember that Desmond's only got a perception of like one yellow, one green, so probably not.
Sorry, what was this?
The
What didn't you receive?
What was that?
I understand.
Jeremy was talking really fast, and he said, considering Desrin only has a perception of one yellow, one green, he probably doesn't notice, but whatever he said before that was long sentence.
I was asking whether or not Desrin or Shadow noticed Terry noticing Desrin or Shadow spotting ourselves in the surveillance photos.
I was waiting for an opportunity to say that when I see my photo, I will look up at Kerry and give her a smile that says, well, that's obviously me. I'm not an idiot and I'm not going to deny it.
We said that's why we have this meeting.
Yeah.
What she wanted to know more about you and why you're here, because neither of you really fit the young elven technocrat mold.
No, but I do fit
you don't think we're interested in joining the APN?
I do fit the... I don't believe people like the APN should go unchecked, and by unchecked, sometimes removal from the general population is really the best way to check them.
Yeah, she agrees. She's more than happy to put in her part, which is where she's making her research available to you.
Yeah, so we've now got images of all of the 6 people we're targets.
Including notations on most of them. So things you...
If we can't, I did able to confirm whether all 6 of them normally live and pay at the APN headquarters.
So you have Alaire, who lives at the APN headquarters, is the scientist of the group, and definitely pushing his cause more than he needs to. Has Death Edge, basically is suspected of being a ex-mercenary Shadowrunner. With the skills to match.
Does he apparently live or stay at the APN headquarters normally?
From looking at all the things, all 6 of them live from there because they run their council from that location.
Okay, marvellous. That was certainly one of the most important pieces that Desmond wanted to know, was the idea of, hey, if we get the place, how they likely to be there?
And Arundel, the best looking of the fake elves, basically shows that his intellect is probably lower than the people coming hoping for a better life.
We heard from stories an idea about the fact that he seems to be a handicapped, lucky personality. You're implying the fact that, yes, that's probably fairly accurate because he's too stupid to be otherwise?
Pretty much. He doesn't have a learning difficulty, he's just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell the Red has a question mark next to her, as she was one of the people who set up the organization in the first place, and seems to be the only one of the council members who does not appear to have participated in any of the atrocities.
Mm-hmm. However, she still allow them to happen from a leadership role.
That is true, that's why there's a question mark next to the person. Basically, she wouldn't be questioning whether or not taking out the person if they had actual proof that they had done atrocities.
Yeah.
But
He's not necessarily opposed to her being removed, just not automatically advocating for her removal.
not saying she wants her left in charge of the organization either. But basically saying that may not have any political clout on the council due to previous affiliation.
Mm-hmm.
Was the actual partner of the previous leader.
So if she doesn't have any...
Okay, so not just quite viewers.
She can't stop the atrocities either. But
from our perspective, she's still worth 2 or 3 grand for a year, so...
Well, you could take the ear and not kill her. But the other thing is where does your ethical line lie? If she started an organisation that was altruistic and did not believe in the atrocities, but then once her partner died, was killed, however he departed the world, these other people took over and committed these atrocities that she could not stop, you know, do you hold her accountable for them if she had no power to stop them, no power in the first place, and they weren't her idea?
And the notation it has on her is that the reason she wears red and surrounds herself with red is a reminder of the dead elves she has been unable to help.
So we need to know more about
Wow.
her.
Yeah, I need to know more.
Yeah.
Okay, from Daniel's perspective, hey, she's worth a few grand just like the rest of them.
If you say that out loud, Shadows...
No, okay, because that was the impression that you're not saying it out loud while Kerry's in the room.
No.
But when it comes to a discussion afterwards.
But when it comes down to it, Shadow's ethical line is you don't murder someone just for a few grand if they're innocent. Otherwise, where is your line when it comes to killing people?
Well, like I said, obviously Shadow and Death with her ticket lines.
Absolutely. The question is how are they going to negotiate that line in this case?
Okay. But in the meantime, okay, she's certainly from Kerry's perspective, she's not all bad, but she's not what she wouldn't make it all good either.
She marks her as a problem.
Yeah.
A problem in what sense?
The others she can easily justify killing. So this one's her problem on the list.
It's possible she no longer believes in the group and she's only there because...
Well, they probably will never let her leave because she's a symbol of the organization's founding.
It might be that she actually needs to be rescued and put into a version of witness protection. Or at least rescued and then have the rest of her cult wiped out, so, you know, she doesn't have to worry about
Remembering that Well, and again, this is the conversation's coming up.
Yeah, not in front of Kerry.
Not but it would part of that discussion afterwards would be any witness protection you're kind of putting into would not necessarily just be protecting you from the resources of the APN after it's been probably destroyed. It would also be represented or the resources of Harlequin who put the job out.
Well, yes.
And that's going to be a lot of witness protection to try and protect from.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that Shadow doesn't believe that it's not something she wouldn't attempt anyway, because she's got her principles and she's prepared to die by them just as she's prepared to live by them.
So she lists Tyran in the same threat level as Death Edge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just
medieval combat expert.
He is the swordsman.
He's probably less likely to actually shoot us with modern weaponry, I have to
Sorry,
say.
this was which one?
Thyran.
Thyran.
And lastly, Zarek the Mad. Basically, there's nothing this guy does or says that seems to make sense. And seems to have held the group together by pure personality than by actual skill or presence. So he's not inspiring by his actions. He just seems to be able to make everyone work together.
Is there any hint of magic about him? You know, any
it does
evidence of...
does note down that Aaron Mitchell was actually the bodyguard of the former leader.
And I think we got one record possibly through the ancients indicated the fact that he might be of age, remember?
And he was the bodyguard of Ridgeworth, the guy who founded it.
Yeah. Does Terry appear to have any affiliations or what's her feelings about the young elven technocrat? Is she know anything about them?
She laughs and says they are slightly better than the Para Nobilis, but to be honest, they probably wouldn't accept you as one of them and may attack you just for showing interest in what they're doing.
Right, that's right. I'm not really particularly interested in them either. Or having noted that seemingly they were paying some attention and visited your mum down the records, we were concerned as to what their interest in the plans of the building might be. Are they ones who are likely to actually attack outright, or?
If anything, her research on them show them taking the long road.
Right.
For them, doing something within 6 months of starting is quick.
Wow.
You have to really have a good... Go ahead.
Once they make a decision, there's a sort of organisation that might make a decision of, hey, these people can't be reasoned with logic, so we will remove them entirely. Is that potentially for them?
Potentially for them, but she can't see that happening soon. They seem to still be doing preliminary scouting, and not very good scouting at that. Unless, of course, they're using magic, which she doesn't believe they are.
Would you be able to just give me a pencil, which I think should be in the pencil, the dragon pencil jar. We'll have a selection over on the shelves. Thanks. Once it's toting my hand because it's going broke.
I just stuck to the bathroom one.
Thanks. So they take 6 odd months to do anything, and they've only just spent the last 2 weeks starting their preliminary reconnoitering.
Yeah, so from her perspective, they're not necessarily the immediate threat to our plans.
Well,
So we might have time to actually do more legwork and be more certain of our plans. But so I'm also fully cognizant of the shadow activity is more interested in something in fast. But they're all preparing in the background.
My intention, once Martin comes back, is to ask her whether she thinks it's more foolish dangerous to try and infiltrate their meeting if we've got all of this information from Sophie's surveillance.
Well,
The other
that's what I
question, the other question will be that explosive stuff, determining the purpose, because if that building is full of explosives, the question is why and what's going to set it off.
Well, I would be tempted, it might be the sort of thing that they were getting their defences around the building. It's also potentially just, hey, there's Getbag, or presumably not Fireman, but Getbag is keen on modern weaponry. It may be the sort of thing that he's just been practicing and potentially doing explosives and things like that.
It is noted down that they do blow things up, the APN.
Yeah.
So they are a terrorist organisation that literally blows innocents up with their targets.
Yeah. So I would think that it's more likely that, it just so happens that both you managed to pick up that, they know a test of their weaponry. Whether it's a good test or not, we don't know. But,
She
the
also
other
has
question,
notation that the Yet, or the young elven technocrats, as they're also known, is has been on their case since her partner died 4 months ago. So she's expecting that they're still doing their planning. So
but they're probably further along than they didn't start 2 weeks ago. So.
No.
Yeah.
So they're clearly at least 2 months before they're going to act on anything. But they are well known for exhausting all other options before going to violence. Violence is never their first thing.
Okay. From all the information that Terry's received so far, either from Sophie or from her own investigation, things like that, has she actually seen inside the building yet?
She's gotten some shots from inside various windows when they'll be open, thanks to drones.
Yep.
And
there's kind of the idea of if we have any interior shot, even if they're just very limited at the moment, would be comparing them to the maps of the building to find out if what we've got so far matches that building, or whether even with the limited stuff we've got so far, because we're not exploring it this way, because there's nothing like this inside there.
so room 1, which you know to be the elevator room, doesn't actually have any external windows, so hasn't really shown that. Room 2 is boarded up on the outside, on the ground floor this is. Room 3 on the ground floor gets thick curtains pulled over and opened up on a regular basis, and Some shots show rather old audio-visual gear sitting in there.
But it does show about a 4 metre square room.
It does.
Okay.
Room 4 has murals done in the Tolkien sense on all the walls, as well as ancient-looking elven weaponry that look worse than movie props. And on the north side, where those dots are, you see a raised dais with a projector screen. And
Okay, so that's where they do their indoctrination meetings and things like that to show all their, show Excalibur and other group classic movies to demonstrate how elves could be behaving.
So
Yep.
which room is this one?
That would be room 4.
Oh, room 4 is the murals in Tolkien style, ancient elven weaponry, and then there's a dice.
Yeah, I just see if I can. So that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so
okay.
this is like a main room.
I'm guessing there's probably fairs and stuff in there that watch the movies while people have their meetings and all that good stuff.
Room 5 is where all the hopefuls go.
Is it like a waiting room or something? Or
It seems to be where everyone's checked out.
okay.
So it would be like a screening room for like a.
No one gets into the main building until they go through that room.
So it's initial security screening.
Room 6 has a lot of uncomfortable looking chairs and another screen showing propaganda shows. And inside you see a little girl watching movies while no one else is around.
So that's room 6. It's got the uncomfortable chairs and it's like a small theatre.
It just seems to be like a waiting area sort of thing.
And I'm guessing, yeah, room 5 is effectively a reception type office, like a, I'm guessing, in the sense that it's, yeah, it's where people go to their own quiet practice. So, oh, he's really enjoying the APN. Where do I sign up?
Room 7 doesn't have any shots because nothing seems to point in the right area.
Yeah.
Room 8 is where you've got shots of Xeric going in and out, and a lot of new people are brought in there. Room 9 appears to be listed as Death Edge's bedroom.
That's on the ground floor, is it?
Oh,
It is.
okay.
It also has strongest readings of explosive residue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not active, not activated explosive residue. Explosives ready to be used, sort of.
He keeps his friends close and his weapons closer.
And we can also welcome an M to the server.
Hello, yes, I finally managed to get me
Oh,
to
easy.
sleep. Good evening.
As you can
It's
see,
been a long day.
we've had a few other people also caught out. So, room 10 on the ground floor. Is basically marked as a bathroom.
Any windows?
Not really, because it doesn't have any external windows.
So not a place from which one can escape if one goes in.
But it is right next to the front door.
I was going to say from lunch or way out, right?
Yeah, man.
So that's it right there on the map, with the entrance right next to it. So on the other side of that is listed as Red Woman's bedroom.
So that's 11.
Ah.
And you have two of their guards always seem to be on duty outside that door.
But yeah, so based on the information that we're getting from those images, it certainly looks like the map is fairly, it's still fairly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's layout. Were there any, in that case, any images for the second floor?
You also have some images of the little girl with the woman in red in that room.
Well, the little girl.
In room 11, the
Yep.
parasol red bedroom.
The little girl might be the daughter.
Okay, on the second floor you have apparently the elevator does open into the bedroom of Alaire. Apparently he likes the elevator in his bedroom. Yep. So I have a feeling they didn't actually intend the elevator to go up, just down. Why would you have an elevator go to all the floors?
That'd be way too silly, obviously. Okay, so the elevator goes from the ground floor down to the basement, but not up to the second floor.
No, I'll have it go up to the second floor because I find it actually makes sense.
Okay.
Anything else would just be crazy. And plus, I'm sure you can fit it in.
A leg there, techno guy, he wouldn't want that. Yeah, way too old fashioned.
Okay, so Area 2 looks like a workroom from a horror movie.
So, room 1 on level 1
is
level 2.
is a room 1 on level 2 is a bedroom and has the elevator.
Oh, right, that's Alaire's bedroom, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So that would be that one.
Yeah.
Room
So
2
it was room 2, that's the
workroom. That looks like it's out of a horror movie.
Yeah, a workroom from out of a horror movie, I think you just said.
Room 3 over this side appears to be a storeroom with a lot of video equipment.
Okay.
Okay, and it seems to have a couple of missile launchers with missiles.
Okay. He's going to the videos, but hey.
I'm sure they're just storing it for use.
A storeroom is a storeroom.
Area 4 has no footage because no doors seem to open up in a good way. And Area 5 seems to be mass barracks.
Okay. A number to bed?
Could probably sleep over 100. Basically, it goes up with cots, the equivalent of a stack of 3 cots in every section.
Right.
That's
obviously
That's area
what
5.
kind of numbers you can get in the buildings? Potentially got 100 plus in the level 5 to bunker.
So you said 3 beds.
Three levels of bedding for each bunk.
And did you say roughly how many bunks?
I said it looked like you could quite easily fit 100 in
Oh,
there.
right. That's where the 100 came from.
In Area 6, looks like the main lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And it has quite a few electronic boards with markers and rulers and all that sort of stuff. Facing windows, so obviously not too scared about other people looking in. As you can see, occasional sketches done up on there with people watching.
Obvious immediate plans for we're going to blow up this building next or things like that?
Nothing about that, and none of the footage they've taken is incriminating.
Okay.
Area 7 seems to have more bedrooms. This one's segregated from the others, so it seems that is the female barracks.
Okay.
As you can tell from all the legalist posters on the wall. But who knows, given some people's interests, it could actually just be, this is the legalist room.
Mm.
Could be where they do all their partying and get legless.
Okay, so
So did we do, was there more than 7 rooms there?
room 8 appears to be 8 appears to be a bathroom.
Right, 8 is a bathroom.
Yeah.
9 appears to be the main target and bedroom of Zarek the Mad. It looks like he is a fan of Japanese rice paper motif. As you have various pictures of him sleeping on mats on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, his ideal of the perfect elf is a Japanese elf.
Interesting.
Japanese polka.
I'm sure it's only accessible in what he believes to be the original language of Japanese.
There's nothing to say that there aren't that Japanese elven people is not a legitimate view, or
They're just not welcome in Japan.
aren't they? Elves aren't welcome in Japan.
Non-humans are not welcome in Japan.
Oh, I see. Wow. Surely there are elves that were born in Japan, right?
There are. They normally get segregated to an island off the coast of Japan and left to die.
Okay.
So area 10 on there is boarded up such that it has no signal going in or out, and they don't seem to be able to hear about anything going on. And we just had a Josh join the party.
Hello.
Good evening.
Jeremy's so happy to hear your voice. Because he needs a flogger to take out 100 fascist elf killers.
That's all. Dave was looking forward to saying, release the flogger.
Flogger ready to smush.
I'm like, flogger's bad enough with 2 hands for blades, but that evokes visions of Release the Kraken, which would imply that perhaps there was a multi-armed, like more than 2 armed flogger, and therefore many more blades, which would be much more scary.
Which may happen.
Well, okay. You didn't see it?
Sorry? I didn't see the what?
I said the footage that came out of the junkyard.
I saw Flogger. I saw him astrally. I saw what it was. I know what Flogger is.
I don't know what you're talking about. Flogger's or what?
I know what you all are because I've seen you all astrally.
Okay, so you get notation that Thyrene lives in the basement as far as they can tell.
So did we cover was there a room 11 on the second floor?
Not on the second floor.
Not on the second floor. And it's
And then-
believed that Erendil also lives there.
So then we've
In the
got the
basement?
basement.
Yep.
And that is, did you say the one that starts with T?
Thyrene.
Siren and Arendelle lived in. It was slept in there.
So unfortunately, it looks like we've got two that live on each level.
Well, technically, in a way, 3 because it looks like Red has a daughter.
Well, I mean, 2 targeted.
So as we're going through these rooms, I'll ask a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go back to Zarek.
Mm-hmm.
You said that it makes no sense somehow he's keeping this group together. And there's mention made that he was a mage. Did you have any information based on maybe what kind of mage he might be, or
She
whether
don't.
he uses divine magic, say, as
Her
opposed-
notations don't have him down as a mage.
Okay, right.
Has him down as a bodyguard.
Yeah, he was a bodyguard to the original founder, which I think was
Ridgeway.
Ridgeway.
Leo Ridgeway.
Yeah, Leo Ridgeway.
Has Thyrene down as a swordsman.
Yeah, no, I got who they were. But,
Has Pharrell down as a mage.
earlier when I said to you, is there any indication of magic? Maybe as a GM, you said he might be a mage.
The information we got from the ancients suggested that Battlefield Red would definitely be collective, and Derek the Mad may have been collective.
Okay, so
It's not being the fact that there was some indication, or they thought there was some indications that were actually active. We've now got Kerry saying that she's got no indications of that.
no, and that's just what I was, because she's like, it makes no sense to her, and so I was just questioning her on whether or not she had any information about if she'd seen or heard anything to do with magic in relation to Zarek.
She's checked out all the members. The only member that have their astral signature is Pharrell.
Okay, but we know one of the other ones.
And her astral signature basically is showing someone with basically a tortured soul is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, no, I was getting that.
But yeah, well, so when if she's talking about that kind of stuff, they're not going to. Did you check it out personally, or the exact information she had?
She says her sources are reliable, she says. You're welcome to try to read her if you wish to.
That'll be my job, unfortunately. And the little girl in these photos, my absolute baseless supposition is that this is possibly Ridgeway and Farrell the Red's daughter is possibly being used to keep Farrell as the figurehead of this organisation, which would suggest that that's why she's a tortured soul, because she doesn't want to be there and hasn't wanted to be there since Ridgeway died. Have you ever come across any suggestion that Ridgeway was killed by Zarek? Do we know how Ridgeway died?
There's no information on how he died.
Okay.
I guess the other question is, did Kerry have any information on this kid? The photos that appeared in Kofi's footage in the last few days.
It appears that she is a vagrant that Pharrell has allowed in and out of the organization, as basically as far as her apparent authority extends.
Does Kerry have any, like when is the first notice that Kerry had of this child in the picture?
Basically, the child generally sneaks in and out while very few other people are in the building.
Okay, but like so she wasn't necessarily someone who's when Kerry first started investigating them. The child wasn't on the picture at that time. The child's been more week than the picture.
The child's been noticed on and off over the last 3 months. Didn't notice her for the
Okay,
first
right.
month.
Yep.
Does not appear to be related to Pharrell, just that Pharrell has shielded her from the others.
Yep.
So she might be adopted. She's adopted this
Maybe she's
child
getting adopted. Yep.
out of guilt. Maybe she's feeling bad. It might be.
The child's not an elf.
That was going to be my question. Can we tell the race of all the species?
She seems human and looks as if she's potentially been on the streets most of her life, even though she looks only 10.
It could potentially mean she might become an elf when she's puberty. Although that's fairly rare these days.
It is. Though spontaneously changing was limited to trolls and orcs, most dwarves and elves were born looking like dwarves and elves.
I thought it was two.
There were very few. I don't believe there were many spontaneous elf to human to elf. It was normally they were born that way.
Okay, but I don't know that's about too long, but okay, my memory was like in the history talking about the effectively the elves and dwarves suddenly appeared one time and then just as people started getting into that idea, the orcs and trolls appeared a year or two later, but it could have been more, they did.
They didn't really come on the scene until long after they had been around, because most people weren't willing to admit that they have a pointy-eared child.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really did portray the elves and dwarves as changelings.
Yeah.
So it fit the myth.
Anyway. Yeah.
Did you want to do intros?
Okay, so might do intros for Em if she's up for it. Apparently, trick question.
Sorry, I gotta find that mute button. I play both your Everlong puppy. I have been helping Trixie out in her garden, and I'm gaining more knowledge about my astral self and magic and all that cool stuff.
Next up we have is Josh.
Hello, I'm Josh. I play Ogre. Ogre being very old. Ogre punching her. Ogre still trying to find it.
Maybe those are trying to find Flugger.
As I say, maybe there's a scenario where...
Flogger told you to go smush 100 people. I can go smush 100 people.
Hopefully, this will be a thing, but I don't think not until after our Thursday meeting. So I'll mention to her that a part of our plan for researching the APN was for an elf, namely myself, because I'm the only unaltered, non-famous one, to go to their Thursday night meeting in apparently dressed as their ideal Tolkien-esque role model.
Well, she suggests either you go in confident, showing them how to do it better, or without breaking their ideals, or be the I need a strong human to show me how to do it properly.
I don't think I've got it in me to go down route 2.
She doesn't have it in her either, even if she could pull off the look.
Not to these kind of people. I don't have that kind of will or discipline. It'd take me about 2 seconds to...
Yoshi's happy to give you some hidden cameras to take with you.
Yeah, we've already got Sophie decking out our good companion Bolt in her a dog form with some surveillance gear. So we're trying to keep myself relatively free of surveillance gear in case in room 5 where they're doing their initial checks. Some of their initial checks include looking for technology. We figure they won't look for it on Bolt, but they would definitely look for it on their elf role model type.
Okay, so from Bolt and Vlogger's perspective, you're being brought along as security outside to look after their gear while they were in for a meeting.
We're meeting with an investigative journalist about the Polynobilis group who kill elves for being bad at being elves.
And I'm supposed to be in my normal
No, this is the
dog-sized form,
investigative.
isn't it?
No, this is where you're in a nice neighborhood, just acting as security with Vlogger for...
This is not APN.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'll be in my vibrant form at the moment, then, is that right?
Yes, and you're probably looking after Desrin's van. So it's
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get out.
I'm looking very threatening with Flora.
Okay.
That's it.
So,
What is the van under control? Literally lifting up the van.
Nobody can touch it from here. If you can't get into the van, you can't take the van away.
okay, Bolt does notice that there is a group of hippie-looking humans coming down the street with semi-automatic weapons at the ready.
Hippie humans with semi-automatic weapons. Okay, that's an interesting combination.
Well, they have that smell of people who have been into trippy stuff.
Oh, I see.
And they are coming from the wrong direction, so so that means Bolt can definitely smell them.
Container for...
They're quite obvious from where they are, and you can also smell the gun oil from their weapons, as well as the extremely cheap tobacco. The sort of tobacco where they spray on the nicotine onto the soy leaves.
And note we're in an area of downtown which is not like the Barrens. Walking down the street with automatic weapons would not be the norm.
And would Bob be aware of this? Probably not. I probably wouldn't think.
To your perception, this is out of place.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Everyone here smells like they're pampered, primped, like that spa day you had. These guys don't fit.
Do they look like they're looking around for something, or are they like heading towards us?
Just to give
They
you
are striding directly towards you and Flogger.
also to give you some context, which may not be the right direction, But we're also having an interview or talking to an investigative journalist who is not popular with certain groups because she believes in exposing basically evil people and standing up for the poor.
And a few of them seem to have a gold ring on their t-shirts.
Gold ring?
Jeremy's just made that one up.
Do I recognize it?
From your perspective, no, it just looks like a gold ring.
Oh.
I don't remember.
I believe the important thing Molly didn't hear at the moment is their ears.
Oh, they smell human. They smell human. You haven't really looked at their extremities.
Oh, okay.
I guess I will look closer. I think my doors are. I'm gonna be on guard.
Well, they have weapons and they're striding towards you purposefully. What would you like to do? This is where I'm asking you if you want to act before they do.
Yeah, I'll get Flor's attention because I presume he hasn't noticed because he's been pressing the van.
Try not to throw a ball, otherwise you may chase it yourself.
Not distracted by this. He's just holding it above his head, making sure it's protected. Well, I can probably still see these people walking through wherever they're coming from.
Not as obvious to Flogger, because Flogger was only looking for people threatening the van.
If you just would watch this, his concern would be, oh God, if Flogger decides to act, he's going to follow first and touch the hand.
I was expecting that to happen in a moment.
I'm resisting confirming what the gold ring means because I think I know.
Okay, so what does Bolt wish to do at this point now that you've noticed something no one else has?
I missed some of that one.
What does Bolt wish to do now that you've noticed something no one else has?
I'll tell them to keep moving if they know what's good for them.
Okay, so in which case, you get to have what?
Is that an intimidation in that case, or?
I was just about to say.
Sorry.
All good. I was just saying, Bolt gets to do a vigilance check as they seem to be lifting their weapons up.
Yeah, I think you've given a lot of clues that these aren't gonna... They're not nice people.
Yes. And that's your question before, Arianna. Whilst I'm not sure, Martin Gwynn commented about a gold ring on their shirt. My thought was, again, going back to Tolkien.
Yeah, the Tolkien-esque, the Tolkien references. These are the Tolkien.
And that's why I was saying, like this. If it was sort of the deck of notice, if you look at it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, the guns and everything sounds like it's...
So I'll do a vigilance roll for Desmond.
It's not good.
Okay, well, definitely have got vigilance, and I'm assuming I don't know if we see well from where we are for this happening.
Well, you get to do a roll because you'll hear it.
Okay, yeah.
Vigilance is reaction.
Yeah. You'll pick up the wrong initiative, so...
Vigilance for Shadow is actually quite good. So it looks like you might actually have a chance of doing something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what though.
Well, Bolt can act is it's not saying that
go first.
the person who rolls it doesn't have to be the one to act. I'm just going to look up Bolt and
Flogger?
Flogger.
Mm-hmm.
I already see my hands to work.
Flogger's got a vigilance of 2 green and 2 blue with uncanny accents.
Okay, so Flogger really digs the initiative.
And
Bolt has 2 greens. Can I possibly upgrade that? We can upgrade.
Not at this stage because you weren't actually prepared. What is it that what does Bolt have?
2
2
green.
green.
I think Bolt was hoping to go first.
Well, it's not based on who rolls it. It's based on what the party chooses.
I'm happy to let Bolt go first then.
remember, because this is why often Dexter will go first because he's got the advantage on effectively surprise shots. But he's certainly not going first on this one because
he can't see what's happening.
we've got to wait for stuff to happen for us to have any idea of anything happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so both Flogger and Bolt see the semi-automatics being raised towards you. Who wishes to go at this point?
I'm happy to act first.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Now, forgive me because I haven't done this for a while.
It's all good. You get to get in just in time to beat things up.
I only have like 1 action, don't I?
Like you have 1 attack, and your 1 attack can hit multiple people depending on if it's a minion group, a rival, or a nemesis.
Yep.
Could be a group from the sounds of things.
I was just thinking, what is the it's augment, is it? The one that makes me like powerful?
Augment makes you more powerful, but it does take up your action to bring it up, meaning that while you're bringing that up, they may act.
Yeah. But the point is we're supposed to be looking like terrifying, right?
Well, they don't seem to be terrified enough of a troll which has a car hefted above him that they have pulled out weapons to shoot.
That's right. What they're looking at is people who apparently don't have guns and they've got guns.
Right. In that case, I might. I'm not sure if there's such a thing with like lunge at them and try and attack.
Yes,
I guess
you can literally bolt to them.
Yeah. I will bolt to them.
Because you do get the free move as well, which means you do the double run.
Yep.
And
Which
then you
should
can
be like quite powerful by now because I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Technically, you can do the whole
Jeez,
30 meters in 6 seconds.
I was going to say,
Oh,
your
wow.
cunning is 6. You've got cunning through the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bolt.
but cunning
bolt.
is not her movement.
No, but
That's why Bolt's got a lot of stuff without having to roll.
I was going to say, you are not stupid with that much cunning.
No.
But getting within the group of them with semi-automatics makes it very hard for them to hit you.
Yep.
It's much better than making yourself harder to hit because with that amount of bullets they're likely to fire in your direction. Harder to hit doesn't stop you getting hit.
Yep.
Okay, so you are amongst them. We then get to do a brawl check because you are able to beat them a new one.
So I'm pretty sure when you said to Emmy what would she like to do, the answer was, I would like to brawl.
I would like to bite the face off the closest person. That's what Bolt does.
I rush up and jump on them and lick them and have the whole thing yours.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to increase your strain by 3 to make all your dice yellow?
Sure, let's do it. I think I have plenty of
I
spring.
feel like that wasn't a question, that was an option.
So this is
The
where
only
you
answer
can.
is yes.
Go
You're considered quite lethal.
Oh yeah, that's great. 10. The elves one.
Leave some for Flogger.
If she does, there's a good chance Flogger will throw the van.
Let's go. If they all get falling up like that, the van might get down more quickly.
Okay, so with your attack, you ended up with 4 net successes and 2 advantages. While I quickly see if we have your claws bit there.
I was going to say, there's a good chance that in his disappointment, Flogger may toss the van anyway.
I was so annoyed that the ball went first because I was actually going to toss the
Yeah.
Okay, so with a dazzling display of Claw and Fang, you take down 3 of the group, which is about half of them.
Nice.
See, claws and fangs are better than bullets any day.
That's what Bolt believes.
You know, I just have to look up the weapon of choice. As it is their turn.
So, not claw and fang.
Not Claw and Fang,
But the fact that I just ripped through like 3 of them should make them thick. Maybe.
It would if they were not as brainwashed.
You rely on them having thought the thing.
Okay, so because you are in contact with them when they open up, they have a difficulty increase, but they can't shoot at you because you're too close. So they're shooting at Flogger.
3 of them are getting a van.
I know 3 of them and hold.
Okay, so as you can see in the dice tray, the net result was interesting. As they line their weapons up, and I believe Bolt just keeps kicking, flicking, pushing their weapons out of the way, and not a single shot gets fired.
Okay.
So just for Josh, the dice tray can be after that level.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was about to say, Mark, I think your dice camera is frozen because I can't see it.
They all cancelled out.
That is the dice roll of my nightmares.
Well, not when it's done by the bad guys.
Oh, done by the bad guys. Okay, yeah.
So they pulled out the machine guns, opened up on Flogger with full automatic, and Womp just kept knocking them out of the way, so they didn't even get one shot off.
So Flogger, not one.
Bolt knocked it all out of the way.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yep.
And so now it is. I'd have to say it would be Flogger's turn because people inside still haven't been clued in that there is combat outside yet.
No, it's all been quiet so far.
So Flogger, this is your chance to toss and shine.
How far away are they?
They are probably within range.
What about Bold?
I'll give you one.
No, don't hurt Bolt.
Knowing I've picked this van up with E, can I walk with the van above my head and slam it down on 3 of them?
You can definitely do a scene from Milo and what is it, the punch buggy version of Disney?
Oh yeah.
Stitch, Milo and Stitch.
Lila.
Lilo and Stitch. I know I'll get the name right eventually.
Lilo, I think it is.
Lilo and Stitch, yes.
Lilo and Stitch.
So we have, you do take 2 strain to walk over there.
That's
Small notice, not one carrying colours.
just before you go any further, Martin, I'm just going to run outside to use the rest.
All good. I will prepare your dice pool while you do so.
Sweet.
It is definitely going to be listed as a melee weapon, not as his brawling, which is not as favourable for him, but hey, he does get that. And he gets 2 black dice for using a non-standard, 3 black dice technically, for using a non-standard heavy object.
Yeah, I definitely attack the improvised weapon, or at least it's an improvised weapon in this usage.
And he would be 2. He will be 2 purple. So 2 purple for it being the difficulty of using a melee weapon. So his dice pool is interesting, and we'll wait till Josh is at the table before we roll it for him. Luckily, there is no gasoline in the vehicles anymore.
Oh, okay, anymore, because I don't run on fuel.
No, but if they had have used,
Petrol, sorry.
if Desiree had to come on his original bike, it was still gasoline powered.
Good thing Desiree said that it was his van.
So it would have been funny if he tried to do it with Tatiana.
Yeah.
Can I say, the original bike would have been a lot cheaper to replace.
Yeah.
I think Tatiana would have had said something by now.
Yes, Tatiana would have been different situations there.
Alright, I'm at the computer.
We have Josh at the computer. I shall switch over to the nice meaty dice screen. Unfortunately, makes the stats look low.
Oh my goodness. Well, I succeed, I think. I succeed.
Okay, so you get 2 net successes on top of your success, and you hit them with the van.
Yes.
Apparently, you have set off the van's car alarm, which advertises to Desiree that something is wrong.
Perfect. Just as planned.
And there doesn't seem to be any movement under the car, with a startled Bolt looking right next to the car, having probably had a couple of hairs taken with it.
That was my foot you almost hit.
And Bolt's nose is resting on the tire by the time you actually switch them. So, Desiree, you hear the sound of your vehicle's car alarm going off.
I will go to the window and have a look out and see what's happening.
You can see your vehicle has parked in the street, face down.
Well, more moved from its original parking spot to now being parked on the sidewalk next to a group of 3 people.
And there is a red explosion at the base of where the van parked. And you can see you get a very goofy looking grin from Flogger, giving you a thumbs up, most likely, from this point.
It's not that I just give Desiree a wave.
And hang on, when we say parked on the sidewalk,
the front of the van is face down.
Yeah, I basically spiked it straight on its nose. The wheels aren't on the pavement yet. It is nose down. Its headlights on the pavement.
downstairs, I guess.
Okay, so you dash out with Shadow, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Kerry wants to come.
Kerry grabs a pistol on the way out.
Mm.
Not wanting to be caught out in whatever's going on out there.
No. We'll venture downstairs to investigate what's going on.
Seems she had one taped to the underside of the table.
That's where I'd take one.
Okay, so yes, well, coming outside you see a couple of what you can easily pick up to be APN supporters by their clothing from the pictures you're seeing. You can now cross 3 members off the list.
With the gold ring.
And with the Lord of the Ring memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a smear under Desrin's van, but you don't know how many's under there.
So yeah. I guess. Good job, guys.
Desrin is furious.
Is the van still drivable? Flogger, can you see if the van will go back up on its wheels?
Just give him a second. He's just going to the toilet.
Okay.
He wanted to give a roll.
Because I'm like, if the van still runs, I'm thinking car wash. That could be the best outcome. Although
The nose of the van is slightly more flat than it used to be.
yeah, I don't know.
Considering that's where the engine of the van is.
Yeah, that's a point. I'd forgotten that it was nose first. I thought it was sideways.
Well, it has the most leverage to go that way.
Okay, alright, yeah. So it went nose first. Alright. Well, I probably wouldn't ask Flogger if you can put it on its wheels. If it's nose first, then it's obvious to me that it's a weapon of mass destruction now. No,
Well,
actually, let's go
also-
weapon of minor destruction.
It's also a weapon of mass identification.
Yes. We may have to take this one to the junkyard and get it crushed.
So I am happy to say, with the help of Bolt and Flogger, you're right in the van. And you see that there's just cracks in the front of the vehicle and the window, but it hasn't broken.
Really? So the van still runs?
Well, most vans are designed to take minor collisions without being a write-off.
Okay, so you didn't really thump it in, you just kind of list.
This is considered a minor altercation.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like he can do the 50 kilometer per hour strike. He probably did the equivalent of a 5k an hour strike.
I see. Oh no, it is Flogger.
He does have strength behind him, just would not be that fast.
You didn't get there's a lot of momentum available from the
So
engine.
I gather we can
I hope Desrin put Flogger as a put Flogger coverage on his insurance.
Now,
Right,
Desmond
okay.
started off with saying he's furious, so you're about to.
Well, the point is that Desmond hasn't actually said anything yet, because he's not excited.
You're sure you can buff out most of it?
He's fuming so much that he can't even yell yet.
So Desmond is really red in the face, and there's steam coming out of his ears.
This is what we like to call tomato.
Steamed tomato.
I was just hearing in my head, juicy.
Domo arigato, Mr. Tomato.
Logger has been reading.
I was gonna say, isn't that thank you in Japanese? I do not remember Japanese very well, but isn't it like much thanks? maybe
It is a form of thank you. A slightly more formal one, but yeah.
Yeah. So he's thanking Desrin.
See, this is Flogger's intellect. It's confused everyone in the party why I've just said that.
Oh,
Let alone the fact he used non-basic words.
Yes.
I kind of think that I could probably make a leap here and say that maybe he's thanking Desrin for the use of his van as a weapon against these interlopers with guns. But I know Flogger doesn't know all of those big words. I gather we can see guns on the people who aren't being smushed. Because you said we could see the Tolkien paraphernalia.
You can, and besides the 3 guns you can recover, the other 3 guns are a bit of a write-off because they're a little crushed.
I will ask Carrie, are there cameras in the area? Like CCTV?
She says, most likely.
We need to get the van to a car wash. And a windscreen.
Bolt's looking at Shadow, like, ears up, tail wagging slightly, like, looking at you with the total, like, I did an awesome job, didn't I?
You did an absolute awesome job. As quickly as I can, I'm gonna search the bodies. You are happy to help me quickly search the bodies. You wanna look for any identification?
One of them has
They
Gary's address.
finally have enough voice or enough composure to yell the fracking copy invoice. What the frack are we still standing around for?
That's why I'm quickly searching the bodies with Flogger for ID, taking the ID and anything else that we can off them. Except for the guns. I think we should leave the guns behind.
Flogger does not have a bullet in his head.
Sorry, what was all of that, Jeremy? Because some of
The
it
only
cut
reason
out.
he hasn't shot Flogger is he doesn't have a pistol on him.
I thought you said you had one.
He's got a pistol, and he's figuring a pistol's not going to be enough.
So I'll grab.
Well, apparently 6 submachine guns weren't enough either.
I will instruct people to leave the weapons. We'll grab the IDs and look, do we want to grab the IDs? Probably want to leave them on there.
We're not carrying any IDs with them.
Aren't they? Okay, so we don't find anything on them.
Just the address we carry.
Just Gary's address. Alright. I will turn to her and say, I think these guys.
Is Flogger getting the van back on the road?
Yeah, Flogger and Bolt righted the van. So you guys should definitely go get the van out of here before authorities arrive.
I'll pick the van to start.
It tells you that it is in need of work, but it is still registering as fully operational.
Martin
Well,
said
I checked that the windshield got to be pushed out because presumably it's all gone to a shaky screen shatter.
It hasn't actually shattered, it's just a cracking part of it. And you think
Okay.
you can actually weld it back together again because most of the windows here are designed to stop bullets.
And Martin was saying that from the looks of things, the damage it's suffered has only been the equivalent of a 5k collision. And so you think you can probably buff out most of that aside from changing the windscreen and needing to give it a good wash because it's covered in blood and body parts.
Jason will be getting it ready to be on the move quickly then.
I'll basically.
Flogger says,
Don't be anything. Just about the skull.
Just between you and me, the arm hanging out of the radiator looks good.
I'll turn to Carrie and show her the address and just confirm these guys were coming for you, so you may want to take some precautions. Do you want us to stick around?
If you go, she'll go back to the place, grab her gear, and head off somewhere safer.
I'm happy to give her an escort if she wants.
She can do that.
I'll Bolt. We're going. You did a really good job, and we're going to help Miss Taylor here get to a safe place.
Unfortunately, her vehicle doesn't actually cater for a troll.
Bolt.
Oh, Bolt. Okay.
That's. I'm leaving.
She looks between the two. And which one's Bolt?
Bolt is this very beautiful looking puppy here.
Oh, so you mean Run Bolt, not Frankenstein Bolt?
Yes.
I got confused.
It's an easy thing to do.
Because the puppy really flogged them, and the troll really looked like a thing from a horror movie.
You've never thought heard of see Bolt run? Bolt.
I
I've decided to leave the troll in Desrin's care.
Good choice, she says, as she rushes you guys back to her place.
Yeah.
This is where Flogger turns to Desert and smiles.
Well, if Flogger is not getting the bag, he's smiling in dust.
He turns and smiles and hears the squealing of wheels and the van just starts to take off.
If you don't get it, he makes the car, Jim. And
Can Flogger grab the van?
Flogger can grab the van and get pulled along behind a very wily coyote.
Sounds good.
Can the van actually pull Flogger? Like, does it have that kind of
It
torque?
does. It's been it has been worked to cater for a troll to ride in it, meaning it needs to have the torque to be able to move while he's inside it.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
so does that mean that Flogger is being dragged, or is Flogger trying to run to keep up?
Flogger's being dragged a little bit, but he doesn't really notice. It's just showing, your vehicle is currently showing that it is experiencing some acceleration issues.
It's taking a flogging?
It is recommending a service as soon as possible.
I think get the blood off the side.
As soon as Flogger realises that Flogger's dragging, he'll slam on the brakes and say,
Apparently he lost his voice yelling out the window.
Yeah, no, because he's so hoarse with anger and frustration. Or because Jeremy's too polite to swear online.
Quite possible. Or the microphone has helped him by cutting out mid-swear.
Self-bleeping.
well, and you probably a little bit of old look and say, I didn't actually swear, I did, yeah, I'll try to cut out the volume.
Okay, does Flogger get on board vehicle? Flogger is muted, so we do not know. Hello, Josh.
Yes, Flogger gets in the van.
Okay. And Desrin, probably with a sigh of frustration at that point, takes off again.
With Flogger leaning over his shoulder saying, see how good I did? Smushy them with the van. Didn't use a weapon at all.
Flogger is apparently being appropriately quiet. Okay. That pistol won't work yet.
He was saying something, but I muted him again. He is now unmuted, so he can
Thank you. Flogger leans over and smiles like, Flogger protect party. And van. For the most
The pistol is my stage. Shut up.
It's okay. It's like I'm playing ball with a puppy. Pook! Ding, 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 ding.
Flogger looks at the pistol and goes, must have water in it. Not big enough.
6 finger in hand.
Yes.
Did he sit down? Did he lean back?
He has fingers stuck in end of gun. That's all I got.
Yeah, Flogger put his finger into the gun, into the barrel of the gun.
Jack will reach under his driver's seat for his shotgun, hold it over the shoulder and pull the trigger.
He hears a double click and realizing someone's unloaded it since he put it there.
I wonder who. I know it's not me. I never get into the van. I have plausible deniability.
And yes, it's certainly definitely well aware of his weapon, and
It was loaded when you believed you were coming here.
So yeah. Oh.
does he falls, sitting back and quietly in the back seat of the car.
No, because Bolt's currently somewhere else.
Bolt did such a good job
Flogger.
and was such a good boy that Bolt got brought along with.
Flogger currently sitting back away from Dexter.
Flogger is currently sitting, but just like Mia does in our car, is just lightly using his knee to nudge your driver's seat.
I think Flogger might be based off Mia.
Because Flogger is, if anything, a large child.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that we can agree on.
I get it. Get down. Up. Get back.
Flogger, sit! Flogger, shut up. You said nothing about kick your chair.
As you bring your shotgun back, you realize something's cut it in half.
Something's cut the shotgun in half.
Which is why it felt unloaded.
Oh, so it wasn't unloaded when he swung the shotgun back to shoot at Flogger. One of Flogger's blade arms appeared and
Not
cut
that
it
he
off?
can see.
Well, something cut it in half. But nobody knows what.
Well, no one can see what. No one's looking.
Okay, right. As in, no one with astral perception is in the vehicle right now.
Well, there are 2 people looking at each other, not at the gun.
Right.
Because Dexter's looking at the road.
Yeah.
Driving away from the scene of where someone caused a accident, killed people in the middle of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It was a vehicular homicide in downtown.
Yeah, good and proper. Not in the ordinary.
And now Desmond will also be charged for hit and run.
And now your shotgun is in. It's been sliced.
Technically, wasn't it running here?
Well, they run at Flogger and they got hit. That's
I
on
mean,
their.
Flogger ran here.
Well, yeah. Can you have a walking hit? Because you'd say, can I just walk over and...
Well, he couldn't get there without moving twice, which made it more of a run.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, so yes. You seem to be moving off with a few arguments happening in the car. Desmond wondering what how happened to his gun.
Mm-hmm. But then it comes something to deal with after where away from the vicinity of someone.
And you hear the sound of sirens in the distance as you're driving along.
It's a good thing we got Bolt with us to help carry back fast. And in case more APN people turn up.
Okay, so once you get in, Carrie moves to one of the walls near the front door and just basically punches in the wall and pulls out a bag.
Yeah, this is unsurprising. We'll escort her out of there and try and make sure she gets to a safe house without any more problems.
And
Do we encounter?
well, you're sure that there's probably people nearby.
Yeah.
But she walks into her neighbour's garage.
I see.
And
She possibly
gets in the
doesn't
car.
need us then.
And invites you into the car.
Okay, alright. Does Bolt fit?
What will fit?
Okay, awesome.
What will fit in a normal seat most of the time. Unless Bolt goes big.
Don't go big. This is somebody else's car. I'll tell Bolt.
It looks like one of those family sort of cars with the tinted windows and the
Oh,
safety features.
Does this mean if Bolt wants to, he can unwind the window a little bit and hang his head out?
Quite
And he'll
possible.
look just like a normal family puppy?
Very much.
There you go, Bolt. If you want to have that joy.
You so totally don't think that I've already stuck my head out the window.
Who do you think wound it down for you? Or press the button?
So I am sensing some Scrappy Doo sort of moments in there. With the whole puppy power.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No. We don't need Scrappy Doo. Not since they ruined him in the movie.
Okay, so yes, she starts heading off in the opposite direction to Desrin.
You see, now Desrin can act as a good distractor.
As you see a bunch of drones start coming down towards where the splatter is. And then start heading off in the direction Desrin went.
That's why I was suggesting car wash. Not only does it put the car out of sight, it might stop leaving a blood trail.
That is true. So, Jeremy, what is Desrin's way of shaking the police and their drones?
Well, initially it's just getting distance and getting out of the downtown area and heading into the Barrens. And then once we're in Barrens, not heading back towards the dead shop building immediately, obviously, but once we're in the Barrens, then taking the spot to try and see whether or not we're still being directly pursued at that point, and then finding a spot to take cover and look to try and cover the track after getting to a spot where we know that, hey, there's no more street cams at the very least. So,
Okay, so it's going to be a streetwise check for Desrin. Amusingly, both Desrin and Flogger have identical streetwise checks. As you're trying to find the best way out of this area.
well, it's certainly not like Desmond's listening to a word of Flogger better not be saying anything. We'll certainly upgrade if we can, but
Well, if you want to upgrade, we can do that because we have a spot. I should have asked. Which means you got a better chance of getting a better result. But apparently you got a net failure and 4 advantages. You can see a drone on your tail as you're weaving through the streets.
Actually, before we get to the barrens?
While you're still in downtown.
I certainly wasn't necessarily expecting to be able to lose all the surveillance until we got to at least the barrens where the street cams and things like that would be available. At this stage, still on the tail, so and recognising we're on the tail, therefore it's definitely time to be eating up rather than trying to do the inconspicuous driving after having gone half block away.
Okay, I'm going to make it a driving check to try to lose your tail.
Mm-hmm.
Though my cat is looking rather suspicious.
I checked his litter, but he is meowing. Did you need me to...
You may have just done it.
Just now in the bedroom?
No, in the spare room, yes.
Yeah.
He has his I've done something dance.
He's possibly done it on out there. Oh no, I've got it. He's done something here.
Okay, so do you want to add anything to your check for driving, Jeremy?
Is there the option to upgrade at the moment? Well,
There is another option to upgrade.
because we should have got to this position, but apparently we've got to get out of it now.
Well, assumingly that is what you're there to save everyone from.
Everyone's generous terms, 5G was thinking right now.
Okay, so you actually succeed with a triumph. What would you like your triumph to do?
Yeah, have you gone and then pooped on a chair after that?
It would be nice if the drone that was chasing us managed to actually the drone's probably being controlled directly by legal anyway, so it's not like it's going to be images that won't get back to them anyway. So,
There's no guarantee it scanned you.
Alright.
No guarantee it scanned you at this point.
And the point that I was going to say is the fact that it would be nice if the drone had, when we lost the drone, it's because we couldn't take a corner that we went down fast and crashed into a building or something, and therefore any images or things like that that they had on fire on memory would be gone, but then they thought actually it's more likely a bigger control anyway. So, but yeah, the idea is that we're going to keep losing. There's nothing you can do about what's there. Hopefully the triumph will make it less likely to be followed, chased down afterwards. But
Well, did Martin say, what do you want the triumphs to do? Because if he does that, then you can you can say I want...
I was certain what the power of the triumph was in this situation. So.
If you're asking too much, I will limit it. If you're not asking enough, I may increase it.
So use your imagination.
Everyone's hoping that we've got away without being further evidence or backed in that sort of way. But yes.
Okay, so you're watching the drone almost coming along beside you as you go round a bend, just to collect itself in the side of a truck going the other way. Realizing it just never got the angle on you. As you don't have your mirrors are cameras, not actual mirrors.
Yeah.
So this sounds good.
Because that doesn't actually cover any of the cameras that were on the street where a certain troll was standing around for a while, then questioning the car, and then dropping it on someone.
On the right side, it does show them trying to shoot him first.
Trying to shoot the troll. Is Swallow still in the van at the moment though?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And you manage to cut across into Bellevue and then out into the Barrens without actually being stopped.
Okay, well,
That's
certainly
what
gonna
Swallow
do
does.
some driving through the Barrens before we go anywhere back near towards thing, and
You know what safe house is nearby, you could always stop there to clean it.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, if there's any options for places where we can
I was
actually.
just joking about where
What's it down a bit before?
You'd have many places you can stop to clean the car.
Yeah.
But one would love a visitor.
Not a visitor with a wanted vehicle.
I was going, particularly one with a wanted vehicle.
Hey, you can have a wanted patrol.
He is a wanted troll.
If you show up there, they'll believe it's Womp who did it.
Oh yeah, don't do that to Womp. He's got enough.
Because Flow is indistinguishable. They always believe it's the yellow troll.
The yellow troll, yeah. Poor Womp. Lucky Flogger.
Okay, so yes, you have managed to...
I was going to say, so did Bolt and I get dropped off somewhere?
I was just trying to finish off what
Okay, yep.
Desrin and Flo were doing. And I'm just tired and struggling.
Sorry.
Okay, so you managed to get yourself into the Barrens and evade police. And in the meantime, you can hear on the scanner in Carrie's vehicle, because it actually is her vehicle parked in the neighbour's garage.
Yeah, no, I figured it was.
She didn't park in her own.
I figured she either had an arrangement or it was set up that way.
She has a work vehicle in her own garage and her personal vehicle in the neighbour's.
Mm.
That way people stake out her garage and she leaves through someone else's.
Mm. I presume it's at no small expense that she's got the neighbour's garage, considering she's paying $30,000 a month for the place that she currently lives in.
And she thanks you for what you're doing. She gives you the option to call her later on if you have any updates or any footage.
Yep, we certainly will let you know. Vice versa, I'll give her the details for one of my burner phones that is a safe one.
And she does know many people who would be happy to throw in some extra credits if you can do some video footage of the event.
Yeah, okay.
Not the stakeout, the other event, she says.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll have to discuss that with my teammates maybe, or just have a think about it myself.
Director recommends helmet cams.
Yeah, helmet.
To see what you do, not who you are.
Yeah. That would be the ideal.
It's good money to start with this.
Well, what I'm thinking is that if we decide not to kill Red, we could always make those few extra 1,000 credits up by selling the footage instead. But I need to find out more about Red before I go from there. I will tell her that I will probably get in touch after I do the meeting on Thursday, and I will hopefully have a better idea of what's going on with Red, and to remove that question mark.
And she says, as you indicated, you also knew Sophie. She'll have Sophie share any of the surveillance she does for her.
Likewise. In terms of any information Sophie has that might be relevant to you.
Okay. And she tells Bolt what a wonderful boy Bolt is.
Bolt's a good boy.
him wagging my tail furiously because someone else outside of the party is complimenting me.
And she drops you on the edge of the barrens.
Yeah, that works. We'll probably stop by Pixies.
Mm-hmm.
Not Pixies, Trixies.
Okay, so that would probably be a good point for us to finish up for tonight, as it is 10:30.
Yep.
People did make it for a short time, which was nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We made it to the exciting bit.
Yeah. Jeremy and I do all the hard work.
You
You guys
made
get all
it
the
exciting
benefits. Sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
He said you made it the exciting.
Okay, they made it the exciting bit.
Yeah.
Amusingly, there was notations in there for them to do their hit on the reporter on the night you talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
But as she's an investigative reporter, I bumped that up to midday because, to be honest, that would be one of the few times she's home.
Yeah, that's true. That is pretty accurate when you think about it.
Okay, so going to end credits, and then Jet to you after.